Just to clarify, before the game starts, for any of you that are rocking up into this stream and are wondering, are we showing the game live? I'm going to say it. It's in the title. It's tagged in the comments. We are not showing the game live on this channel. This is a watch-along stream that we're doing. This is a watch-along channel, so we won't be showing the game live. So I apologise about that. It says it in the title that we're not showing the game. So if you're looking for a watch-along stream where you can sit back, relax, talk with a very nice community of people that we've got on this channel, then feel free to stick around and enjoy tonight's action at the World Darts Championship, because it's going to be a fantastic game to watch. But just to clarify once again, we are not showing the game live. We can't, unfortunately, because of copyright issues, which I apologise about. But this is a watch-along stream. If you've been on this channel before, you'll know that we've done watch-alongs for a long period of time. But I just want to make sure before you come in and wonder if we're showing the game live, we are not showing the game live on this channel. If you want to watch it, if you're in the UK, then it is available on Sky Sports Darts. If you are not in the UK, Ireland, or Netherlands, you can watch the game on PDC.tv. You can buy a day pass, which is about £2, if that. So once again, for those of you, and I'll keep repeating it throughout the night as people come in, we're not showing the game live. Michael's putting in the chat Sport 1. If you have got access to Sport 1, then Michael says go in there and watch it. I could sit here and quite easily say we are showing it and get you guys to chuck viewers in, but right now, we're not showing the game live. So just to clarify, we're not showing the game live. This is a watch-along stream. If you don't like it, then I do apologise. It's not for everyone, these watch-alongs, but we have put it in the title just to make sure for you guys, if you do come in, that you understand that we're not going to be showing the game live. So I do apologise about that. But for those of you that are joining the stream, welcome along to tonight's World Darts Championship watch-along. It's Gerwyn Price taking on Gary Anderson in the final, which should be starting in the next minute or two. So sit back, relax, get a drink, fix yourself a drink up, get ready for the night, because it's going to be a very good game indeed. I'll be back in a moment. But once again, and I apologise for repeating it, we're not showing the game live because this is a watch-along. And for example, Truth Seeker, why advertise that you're going live? Bullshit. This is a watch-along. It says it in the title. If you could read, then you'd be able to see that this is just a watch-along stream. So I apologise about that. As I said, it's not for everyone, but as he says not showing the match in the title. So I would suggest reading the title before coming in the stream. Otherwise, I'll be back in a second and we'll get ready for tonight's game. Gary Anderson versus Gerwyn Price. Do put in the chat, are you team Gary Anderson or are you team Gerwyn Price? Because we've got a nice game that we're going to be playing for a cash prize a little bit later on. Back in a second. This is just a watch-along stream. So I apologise about that. As I said, it's not for everyone. But as he says not showing the match in the title. So I would suggest reading the title before coming in the stream. Otherwise, I'll be back in a second and we'll get ready for tonight's game. Gary Anderson versus Gerwyn Price. Do put in the chat, are you team Gary Anderson or are you team Gerwyn Price? Because we've got a nice game that we're going to be playing for a cash prize a little bit later on. Back in a second. So good evening everyone, hello and welcome along live to another watch along on the Sports Corner channel. This is it, the World Darts Championship final is taking place tonight. The last game of the World Darts Championship in what has been a very, very crazy year of darts. I hope you're all good, welcome along to the channel. As I said, once again, apologies for those of you that are just joining the stream now. We're not showing the game live. As I've said before numerous times, it is in the chat right now and it's on the title. We're not showing the game. So for those of you that are joining, there probably is another illegal stream that is showing the game. I apologise I've not been able to show it right now, but I do highly recommend going over to a legal stream or at least watching it live if you want to right now. But ultimately, we're not showing the game live in here. But for those of you that are here for a watch along tonight, how are we all doing? Hope you're all good. Welcome along to the stream. I will get my webcam sorted here. Give me 2 seconds because what I want to do is just very quickly sort my camera out. So give me 2 minutes and I'll be ready to get underway. But do tell us in the chat tonight, are you team Gerwyn Price or are you team Gary Anderson? Will the experience of Gary Anderson come out to play tonight at the World Darts Championship? Or are we about to see Gerwyn Price become the world #1 for the first time in what has been, 7 or 8 years since Michael van Gerwen went to the world #1 position? But how are we all doing? How are we all good? Anoop is in the stream saying it's fake. If you read the title, Anoop, you'd know that it says we're not watching the match, so I would suggest maybe learning how to read. But let's get the thumbnail off. How are we all doing? Welcome along to the World Darts Championship. This is it. For those of you that have been joining over the last couple of weeks, a big thank you for all of the support over these last few weeks. It's been an incredible tournament throughout the last couple of weeks. But this is it. The final is here. Gary Anderson is taking on Gerwyn Price, and I've just realised I've accidentally left the thumbnail up from last time. So 2 seconds to sort that out. But do put in the chat tonight, are you team Gary Anderson or are you team Gerwyn Price? We are going to be playing a little bit of a game tonight, so for those of you that maybe want to win some cash, then I would suggest sticking around on the channel because we're going to have a game based on the number of 180s. So basically, while I just sort out the right hand side of the screen, as Chris is in the chat, oh, you're good buddy, might need a bit of a busy night in terms of modding tonight. But I want you to basically, in the stream, you've got an opportunity to win some cash. And basically, the opportunity you have at hand here is I want you to guess how many 180s are going to be smashed in tonight between Gerwyn Price and Gary Anderson. Now, the way it's going to work, put it in the chat. You have got until the end of the first set to put your guess in on the number of 180s in tonight's game. If you put in the chat the number, it has to be a number that is different to the number that somebody else has had. Let me just turn that down a second. Apologies about that. So do put a number in the chat. If somebody gets it bang on, there'll be £10 prize for you, whether it be a gift card, whether you want it or not, but there'll be a £10 prize. So put the number in the chat. On the amount of 180s you are predicting tonight, the winner will get a £10 prize. But once again, for those of you that are just jumping in the stream for the first time and you're wondering, I'll be showing the game live. Unfortunately, because of copyright reasons, I can't show the game live tonight, which is a real shame indeed. And if I could, I would have. But sadly, I'm not going to be able to tonight. So let me just very quickly sort out this section of the stream. But as for now, as I said, do put your predictions in the chat for the number of 180s smashed in tonight's game as the players come out onto the oche for tonight's match. Indeed, it's going to be a very, very good game to watch. And hopefully, I hope you all have a fantastic time watching this match because it's going to be a very, very good game indeed. But let me just quickly save that so it comes up on the screen with the actual game that's being played tonight. And let me get the score up, which you'll see on your screen in a moment, the scoreboard. There we go. As we have one night of action. So you're all putting your comments in. I can see Dale, welcome to the stream, but he says 18 180s in this match. Arcs are saying 36. Alex saying 17. I will, by the way, if you put a same number in, I'm taking the first comment of whoever got that number first. So try not to put the same number in as somebody else, or else you might not be able to get it first. But seeing in the chat, James, hope you're good buddy, says 24. Bilbo Bagging saying 29 180s. Duan saying 21. Anna saying 16 180s. Polenia saying 14. So remember to be in the stream at the end because you might have a chance of winning £10 cash if you predict the number of 180s in the stream tonight. So let me just put that on the screen and then we'll get underway. Predict the number of 180s for a potential to win £10. But who are you wondering is going to win tonight? Who's your guess to win? That's the question. I'd like to know, Team Gary or Team Gerwyn? Let me just quickly change that. Move that. I am unprepared tonight. I do apologise. But Team Gary Anderson or Team Gerwyn? That is the question on everybody's lips tonight as both players come out onto the oche for tonight's big final. Gary Anderson taking on Gerwyn Price. And I've got to say, I am a big, massive Gary Anderson fan. So there will be no bias here tonight. I will be honest and I'll be truthful. But what a game this is going to be. Gary Anderson taking on Gerwyn Price. The game is kicking off in a moment. And the alcohol is swinging. Chloe's saying I'm going to keep it to 32 180s again. And hopefully it'll be 7-6 or 7-5 to Gary. Snoodle saying 32 180s. Gary saying 15. Andrew saying 16. Chris saying 33. I'm going to predict 29, I think. 29 or 30, I think. No, I'm going to go 30. 30 180s tonight, I think, in this match between Gary Anderson and Gerwyn Price. And once again, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription if you are new to the channel. This is the Sports Corner. We do live watch-alongs of a numerous amount of sports, including darts, which we're going to be doing for the Premier League of Darts, which we'll talk about a little bit later on tonight. We do football watch-alongs. We do NFL playoff watch-alongs, which are in a few weeks' time. We have a wrestling podcast, which is available on a Tuesday. And we're also going to have some wrestling watch-alongs coming soon as well with Rowan. So if you like your sports, well worth checking us out on this channel. But once again, thank you for those of you that have stayed. I know there's a lot of people in the chat that just couldn't read the title. As I said, we're not showing the match tonight, which I'd like to, but unfortunately because of copyright reasons we can't. So for those of you that did read the title, big thank you, because at least I know you've got 2 pairs of eyes and can read. But both players are underway, and we are about to get ready for this match tonight. Gary Anderson is going to start us off here against Gerwyn Price, and we are underway in this World Darts Championship final. Seth saying, I say 18, matey. Very best of luck, Seth. Whoever wins tonight will have a chance to win £10. You've got to put it in before the first set is finished. So you've got a couple of legs here to put your prediction in. Remember, the winner tonight will get £10 cash. Whether you want it as a gift card, whether you want it as just cash, then do give me a heads up if you do win at the end of the stream. But David saying Anderson is not going to win this. Price's barracking will not faze him tonight. Chris saying I would support anyone against Gerwyn Price. And then Cameron in the stream saying, good evening, how are you doing, Cameron, you legend? He says, my prediction tonight is Gerwyn Price, Gary Anderson 5, Gerwyn Price 7, Gary Anderson 5, so it should be a good game indeed. But I'd like Gary Anderson to win. I just think tonight is going to be a very tough game for him. We've had 1 or 2 good performances from Gary Anderson in this competition so far. I think his very best performance was actually against Dirk van Dijvenbode, but chance here for a 180 in the match, which Gerwyn Price hits a 140 to start. But Gary Anderson here at 170 could have a chance for a big fish finish, which he's not going to be able to get, unfortunately. So there's a chance here for Gerwyn Price to check out the 161. Eddie, he says in the title that we're not going to be able to show the game tonight because of copyright, so I do apologise about that, but I have put it pinned in the comments and I have put it in the title to make sure that people don't jump in this stream expecting the match. So I do apologise about that, but we have been doing these watch-alongs throughout the entirety of the tournament. So as Gary Anderson has a chance here for an 85 checkout, just misses the double 5, which means there's a chance here for Gerwyn Price of the 97. But I do apologise about that, Eddie. That's why I put it in the title, just to make sure that people don't jump in and think that we're showing the game live. So Gerwyn Price here not checking out 97. So Gary Anderson here, a chance to check out at 5. That's 1 and double 2 for the first leg of this game, and to have the boost of confidence. Hits the 1. It gets the first dart in at double 2, and that'll be a confidence booster for Gary Anderson as he gets the first leg on the board in this game. And I just want to say a big thank you. We're up to 1,548 subscribers. Thank you so much to everybody that has left a sub, as we have a 140 on the board for Gerwyn Price. I did think we were about to get the first 180 of the game. Gary saying, I'm a Scot. Come on, Gary. Gary supporting Gary tonight. I might not be a Scot myself, but I'm a big Gary Anderson fan, so I'm hoping he wins tonight. I do think, if I'm going to predict, I'm going to guess Gary Anderson 7-6. Why not? Let's go to a last leg decider. How about that to end the World Darts Championship? But we've got a lot of to talk to about tonight. We've got first to 7 in this game, so it's a long, long way to go. And then, of course, at the very end of the night, we will talk about the Premier League of Darts, which is going to be very exciting, of course. We will know tonight who is playing in that competition in a few weeks' time. And I'd like to ask you guys in the chat, now we're at the final, now we roughly know who's going to be there, which 10 players would you like to see at the Premier League of Darts in a couple of months and weeks' time? Do tell us in the chat who you'd like to see there. It would be very, very good indeed to see who you would like to see in that Premier League come mid-February in a few weeks' time. Chris, I don't mind Price over celebrating. It's just his arrogance after match. He's number 3 at the moment. Only number 1 should be arrogant. But then again, Chris, I guess you can say as well, maybe that arrogance that Gerwyn Price has will get him to a world number 1 position. You never know. As Gerwyn Price here isn't going to be able to check out 100. So Gary Anderson has a chance here to go 2 legs up with a 76 checkout of treble 20-88. First dart hits 20. Second dart is 16. So 1 dart at tops for a 2-leg lead. And Gary Anderson does get a 2-leg lead. It's a good start here from Gary Anderson. Maybe some nerves here to start off for Gerwyn Price. And Cameron's just asked you finishing the pink gin off tonight. You are absolutely correct. We haven't got much left, but Laddie's going to be gone by the end of the night. I'll tell you that for sure, as we're still waiting for the first 180 of the night. But big thank you to everybody that has left a subscription. We're 2 away from 1,550 subs. As we might have our first 180 of the night. Unfortunately, we don't. Gary Anderson there, Gerwyn Price, sorry, nearly hitting the 180. But Gary here looking to go one better with the 180. There we go, first 180. And that is the first 180 of the night on the board. Remember, if you put your 180 prediction in the chat before the end of this first set, you might have a chance to win £10 cash if you get the number of 180s correct. We've had a fair few predictions in the chat, so if you're just popping in, then do put your prediction in the chat. You might have one more leg here as Gary Anderson is looking for a 129 checkout to go 3 legs on the bounce and take a 1-set lead early on in this game. Chris putting, I'm not a big fan of Price, but if he wins, I'll give him credit. So Gary Anderson here gets treble 19. He's treble at 20.66. Goes treble 12 instead. So 1 dart, a double 18, which is just a little bit under. And a chance here for Gerwyn Price to check out 132. Gonna need 2 balls here, which he doesn't get. And therefore, we won't be seeing a checkout from Gerwyn Price. So Gary Anderson, with a chance to go 3 legs on the bounce and a 1-set lead, with 3 darts at double 9. First dart hits the 9, so he's only going to have 1 dart here at double 4. And he doesn't get it. So an early mistake there from Gary Anderson. Doesn't check out the 18, which therefore means Gerwyn Price has a chance to check out 84. Treble 20, double 12. Ken has just put in the chat, we all good, but he says 15 180s. Very best of luck, Ken. So double 12 here for Gerwyn Price. He's got 1 dart at double 6, which he gets. And that's a big roll from Gerwyn Price as he gets 1 leg on the board in this game. And a potential chance for him to maybe come back and maybe take a set to his name. He's got 2 legs he needs to win on the bounce. So a bit of a tricky position here for Gerwyn Price. But you never know. We've seen it a few times in this tournament before where people have come back from 2 legs down to win a set to their name. But Cody put in the chat, I just subscribed. Hope you get to your target soon. God bless you, buddy. Thank you so much for leaving a sub. And God bless those of you which have. It is greatly, greatly appreciated for all of you that have left subs. So big thank you to all of you that have left subs indeed. But Chris has put here, got a horrible feeling Cross will get in Premier League if Anderson doesn't win, because Cross would still be number 4 in the world and top 4 automatically get in, which is mad because how shit has Rob Cross been this year? No offence. Not been his best year, has it? Rob Cross at all. But Gary Anderson here, looking for the second 180 in the match. Gets a 140 to put himself down to 261. Gerwyn Price all the way back at 359, so there's a little bit of a gap between Gary Anderson and Price's score, but there's plenty of time here for Gerwyn Price to maybe make it 2 legs apiece in this game. So Gary Anderson here starts with a 1, gets a 20, really needs a treble, which he doesn't get. And 41 means that Gerwyn Price has an opportunity here, if he can get over 100, to capitalise on the 41 of Gary Anderson. Which he doesn't. Only 98 there for Price. So a little bit of a let off for Gary, because he looks to get a 140, which he doesn't, and only gets 81, so a bit of a poor 6 darts there from Gary Anderson, although he's down to a 139 finish. Gerwyn Price at 180, going to try and leave tops here, which he does. So Gary Anderson is going to have to check out this 139. Treble 19 he needs, which he doesn't get, so there'll be no check out from Gary. And it's Gerwyn Price coming back here to make it 2 legs apiece in this first set of the match. Can he do it? That's the question. So Gerwyn Price here, 3 darts at tops. He only needs 1, and that's a good finish there from Gerwyn. And it makes it 2 legs on the bounce, so we're going to a deciding leg here for who takes the first set of this match. And Gary Anderson, who looked comfortable in those first 2 legs a moment ago, has just crumbled a little bit. And allowed Gerwyn to get back into this match early on in the game as we look for the second 180 of the match. And that's a 180. Get the sound. Where's George? There he is. First maximum for Gerwyn Price. Second of the game. And some people are slowly getting on course towards their 180 prediction in the chat. Remember, if you want to play along at home, you can stay on the right side of the screen. Predict the number of 180s in the chat for a chance to win £10. If one person in the chat gets it spot on with the 180s, you have a chance to win £10, whether you want it as a gift card or cash. You've got about a minute left of being able to predict before there's no more predictions in the chat. So if you haven't put a prediction in already, then put it in the chat now, because you've got a chance to win some cash by the end of the night. As Gerwyn Price here gets 58 to leave himself at 186. Remember to subscribe as well, because if you aren't subscribed, then you won't be getting the £10 prize. So remember to subscribe, because if there's multiple people who've put the same name, we'll go to a potential draw for it, or we'll go to the first person who predicted it. So Gary Anderson here at a 112 checkout. Price gets 140 to leave 146. Sorry, 46 even. So Gary Anderson's going to have to check out this 112, which he isn't going to be able to now, unless he gets treble 19, which he doesn't. So Gerwyn Price is coming back here for a chance to check out 46. Big moment here for Gerwyn Price early on. Gets the 6, so 2 darts at tops for Gerwyn Price for a 1-set lead, which he gets, and that's a roar and a half from Gerwyn Price as he takes a 1-set lead in this game. And Gary Anderson, who was 2 legs up in this match, had an opportunity to be able to go and get himself the first set on the board. But in the end, it was Gerwyn Price who won 3 legs on the bounce to go 1 set up in this game. And as it currently stands, it's a 1-0 lead to Gerwyn Price. We'll talk about that set in a moment. We've had a little break. 2 seconds. And that is the first game of the set. First set of the game. First game of the set. I hope it's not the first game of the set. First set of the game that is done between Gerwyn Price and Gary Anderson. As it currently stands, it is Gerwyn Price with a 1-0 lead on sets in this game. And you have to say for a moment, Gary Anderson looked like he was on course to go 1 set up himself in this match. But ultimately, a little bit of a crumble there from Gary Anderson. And he kind of looks like he started off on the same foot as he did in the match against Chizzy yesterday. In terms of the stats of the match, averages of the game so far, Gerwyn Price averaging 67 bang on. Sorry, not 67, 97. I hope he's not averaging 67. He's averaging 97 in this game so far. As for Gary Anderson, he's averaging 94.09. It is the checkout stat that is crucial so far in this game. 75% for Gerwyn Price. That's 3 out of 4 opportunities at doubles that he's taken. And Gary Anderson has only hit 2 out of 6 on his doubles. That's 33.33% of his doubles in the match. And of course, for those of you that are playing along, we've now shut off. There will be no more bets in terms of predictions for 180s. So I'm going to put a note to myself that Curran was the last person to leave a message for the 180s. So give me 2 seconds to message about 180s. So any more predictions in the chat will not count to our predictions tonight in terms of 180s. For those of you that are playing along at home, very best of luck. Remember, for those of you that have put your predictions, we've got a chance to win £10 in cash, whether you want that as a gift card, FIFA points if you play FIFA, or an Xbox code or something like that. Then of course whoever does get it correct will get themselves a £10 gift card, or at least a £10 code to the equivalent of your nationality's currency. But either way, Gary Anderson is 1 set down right now. There's some work to do in this game, and Gerwyn Price continuing on where he left off in that game yesterday against Stephen Bunting, where of course he was hitting ton plus finishers left, right and centre in the match. Patrick's in the stream. He says he thinks he's going to be 7-6 to Gerwyn Price, and he's left a sub. Big thank you to you, Patrick, and a big thank you because we're up to 1,557. So if you haven't left a sub yet, if you've enjoyed the watch along so far, then don't forget to leave a like and a subscription as always. And then Chloe's put in the chat, hopefully Gary wins, as we all want the best players in the Premier League. Sorry, Rob Cross, as if you compare Cross to D'Souza or Dimitri, they deserve to be in the Premier League over him, as the consistency hasn't been there. And then Cody's in the stream. Oh, you're good, Cody. He's hoping Gerwyn Price wins tonight. I'm a Welshie like him. Very best of luck for him tonight, Cody. I might not be Scottish. I'm backing Gary Anderson, but I do like Gerwyn Price as well. I do like the roars he brings out, and he brought out a massive roar a moment ago as he took a 1-set lead in this game against Gary Anderson. But there's a long way to go, remember. It's first to 7 sets tonight. So we've got a big, big game indeed still rocking on, probably the next hour and a half, 2 hours at the very least. But do get the drinks flowing, because It is going to be a very, very busy night tonight. And once again, a big thank you to all of you that have come into the stream today. If you don't know, we do a lot of watch-alongs on this channel. We do watch-alongs for football, we do it for NFL, which we're going to do in a few weeks' time for the playoffs. We also do it for wrestling too, which will be coming very soon. But we're back underway here between Gerwyn Price and Gary Anderson. And Gerwyn Price here going to start off with a 140 for the first leg of this second set. And I think for Gary Anderson here, there's a long, long way to go in a match like this. But he will not want to drop 2-0 on sets down to Gerwyn Price early on in this game. Or else it could get a little bit worried for Gary Anderson, who will have to chase for a large majority of this match. But Gerwyn Price down at 2-6-2 here. Gary Anderson just struggling a little bit. Only down to 3-5-6 after 6 darts. Not the best start to the game here for Gary Anderson, is it? Kim saying Price needs to go home. The question is, does he need to go home with a World Championship to his name? That's the question. Are you a Gerwyn fan, Kim, or are you a Gary Anderson fan? Do tell us in chat, Team Gerwyn or Team Gary? It's Team Gary here, but I don't mind Gerwyn at all. I don't know what's going on outside. If you can hear that, I do apologise. But Gerwyn Price here, down to 59. Gary Anderson all the way back at 2-5-6. There's going to be at least 6 starts here for Gerwyn Price to check out the 59. So 19 double 20 for Gerwyn Price for a 1-leg lead in the second set. And he just seems to be hitting everything right now. A very, very good start to this game for Gerwyn Price, who just seems to be hitting every opportunity that he has at doubles so far in this match. Gary Anderson not really having many opportunities in this match really so far to check out, apart from those 2 first legs earlier on. And it was in the first set, wasn't it, really? He had a few little chances here and there. And I might be absolutely battered by the end of the night. So if we do get to 10 o'clock and I'm absolutely pissed out my head, I apologise, you're going to live drunk stream. So Gerwyn Price here on for the third 180 of the match, which we don't get, but a 140 will do for Gerwyn. Have a look at the stream. Ken saying, me too, Price all the way. I live 3 miles away from him. That's awesome, man. Hopefully, maybe you might get your wish tonight with Gerwyn Price winning. Dimski, you're absolute legend. Good to see you again, buddy. Hope you're all good. He said, Anderson to win 7-5. Price is no Leighton Rees. Stuart saying Team Gary. Stuart Pearce, hope you're all good, buddy. Welcome to the stream. And then Alicia Bailey is going Team Gary as well. So a lot of people on Team Gary tonight as we get another 180. That's the third one in this game. So if you put your predictions in the chat tonight for the 180s, then we're now on to 3. The winner will get themselves £10. Ken Tenney saying 7-3 to Price as well. Do you know what? I'll tell you, Kenny, with the way this game's match has started so far, it kind of wouldn't surprise me if that happened. Although Gary Anderson here looking for a 1-2-8 checkout on double 10 with 2 treble 18s, and I literally, it's just as I was about to say, maybe Gerwyn Price has started off very well there. Gary Anderson, who didn't seem to be able to check out 2 minutes ago, checks out a 1-2-8 for the first ton plus finish of this match. And of course, yesterday we did have the most ton plus finishes in a game in the history of the PDC of darts, with the Gerwyn Price Stephen Bunting match yesterday. So whether we see something similar tonight, who knows? Because Gary Anderson here looks to have just turned it up at the right time as he gets 140 to leave 3-6-1 after his first 3 darts of the third leg. It's a very good start here for Gary Anderson as he makes it 1 leg apiece in this second set. Gerwyn Price only gets himself 66, which puts him down to 350. So a chance here for Gary Anderson to capitalise on an early Gerwyn Price mistake, which he doesn't, and only gets 60 to leave himself at 301. So a little bit of a let-off there for Gerwyn Price. He probably thought himself there was a chance for Gary to go 2-1 up on legs and put the pressure back on Gerwyn Price in this game, but he's done very well there, Gerwyn Price, to make up and get himself down to 290. Big thanks for all the likes tonight as well. We've got 66. If you haven't left a like yet, and you have enjoyed the stream so far, then don't forget to leave a like. But Gerwyn Price here on for a 140, which he gets. So Gerwyn Price down to 150. Gary Anderson at 201. He's going to have to get a ton plus here, which he gets a treble 20-20. He gets himself 130 there, I think, Gary. So Gary down to 71, Gerwyn at 150, which he won't be able to check out. So Anderson has a chance here for treble 17, double 10 to go 2-1 up on legs. Here's the music on in the background, by the way, if somebody could give me a heads up. Because Gary Anderson has one dart at double 10, which he gets, and that's a 71 checkout from Gary Anderson, and that is much better finishing in this second leg from the Scots. Very good indeed. Dimsky saying Anderson knows how to win. He does. He's got the experience, which is the important thing, I think, at this stage of the match. Chris saying, I don't think anyone expected Anderson in the final at the start. I know back-to-back champion, but I didn't because of form he was in. I think he's something, Chris, very similar to last night when we said about Stephen Bunting. I think you can apply the same thing to Gary Anderson and say that, you know, realistically, Gary Anderson probably never thought that he'd make it into a final himself. I think, you know, he said throughout the majority of the kind of tournament that he's just here to play darts, to try and enjoy himself, to play the game, and he's made it all the way to the final. I think he even said last night in the match, he said he feels like he's backdoored his way into it, and realistically, I think when you kind of look at it, there's a couple of things that have swung his way. Dirk van Dijvenbode played an awful game against him, which I think shocked a lot of people. MVG getting knocked out, so he played Chizzy, which if he played MVG, you would have expected Gary to have lost that match. And that's been, you know, not offensive to Gary in any way, but I think even himself would have been very thankful that MVG was knocked out. Chizzy looked okay, but didn't play to the highest of strengths as he did in the other two matches against MVG and Dimitri. As Gerwyn Price here might go for a 177. He doesn't, but leaves 133. So he's down to 70 Gerwyn. Gary Anderson can't check out 139. So a chance here for Gerwyn Price to check out 70 and once again take us to a last leg decider. Gets treble 18, so one dart, a double 8 to make it 2 legs apiece again. First dart misses, but he's a good marker. And second dart misses. So Gary Anderson has a chance here to make it 1 set apiece with 3 darts at tops, and this could be a big moment for Gary Anderson. First dart a little bit too high, but the second dart is in, and Gary Anderson gets the second set on the board, and he lost the opening leg as Gerwyn Price came back in the match from 2 legs down, and it almost looked like that Gerwyn Price was going to be able to take him to a last leg decider yet again, but ultimately there, Gary Anderson checking out on tops. It makes it 1 set apiece in this match. We'll talk about the stats in a moment. As it currently stands, Gary Anderson 1, Gerwyn Price 1. We'll be back in a moment to talk about this incredible final. 1-1. And Gary is back in the match as it currently stands. It is 1 set apiece in this game between Gary Anderson and Gerwyn Price. If you have enjoyed the watch along so far, then don't forget to leave a like and a subscription on the channel as we push towards 1,600 subs on the channel. We are up to 1,557, but as it stands, as I said a moment ago, Gary Anderson has made it 1 set apiece in this game, and Dimsky asked the question, are we going to see a 9-darter tonight? I kind of hope we do. It would be nice to see a 9-darter after the misery of the 9-darter that we had against, well, it was James Wade, wasn't it, against Stephen Bunting a few days ago. But in terms of the stats this match so far, should be back on the screen now, I apologise, it went up for a second there. There's been 3 180s in the match, so for those of you playing along at home with the 180 game, do keep an eye out on your score. I will check it after the game is finished to see if somebody did get the right score on the 180s. But there's been 2 for Gary Anderson and 1 for Gerwyn Price. In terms of the checkouts, Gerwyn Price 57.14%, that's 4 out of 7 on his doubles so far. Gary Anderson 45.45%, that's 5 out of 11 on his doubles. As for the averages, Gerwyn Price at 97.63 and Gary Anderson at 94.04. Rinky Stinky Bum Bum Poo Poo, what a name, has said, come on Gary, beat that Welsh prick. I assume you're a big Gary Anderson fan. What a name. Rinky Stinky Bum Bum Poo Poo. Unbelievable name. I'll give you credit. That's one of the best names I've heard of the year so far. But Gary Anderson in that last set averaged 60%. Well, I'm not saying average. Did get 60% of his checkouts. That's 3 out of 5 at doubles. In terms of his average, it was only 93.97. But Gerwyn Price only took 33.33% of his doubles. That's 1 out of 3. So Gary Anderson looking much better there after only getting 33.33% of his doubles in that first set. So much improved there for Gary. But we've got a long way to go in this game. Remember, it is 7 sets that the first player needs to get to in this match. So we are a long, long way away from getting to that stage of the match so far. But overall, both players looking very confident in this game. Remember, if Gerwyn Price wins tonight, he will become the world #1. If Gary Anderson wins, he'll become the world #4. And that means he should, realistically, be in the Premier League of Darts, which we'll talk about later tonight, because after the game, for those of you that are big darts fans, of course, which I hope you all are in this stream, the Premier League of Darts comes back in February, and tonight, after the game, we will know who is in that competition. So once the game is done tonight, I might do a separate video, actually, for the Premier League of Darts. We might talk about it very briefly on stream and analyse who is going to be in that competition, and then I might do a separate video as well to put onto the channel tomorrow as a separate video about the darts. But if you have enjoyed it so far, big thank you, because there's nearly 200 of you in here, and it is really, really appreciated. Apologies for not showing the match as well, because I wish I could. But Polania has put, it would be nice to see a 9-darter, but I think with the game pressure they're both in right now, I don't think we'll see one. And yeah, as much as it would be nice to see a 9-darter, I think both players probably wouldn't care about it, necessarily speaking. I think the one thing that's on their mind is just winning this title and getting it done. So I don't think we'll see any 9-darters. We might see a chance at a 9-darter, but I don't think we'll get one, as Gerwyn Price hits a 177, but Gary Anderson gets a 1-2-3. So we might have a chance of a 9-darter here. Gerwyn Price isn't going to get it though, as he hits 20 with his first dart. But Austin, hope you're all good, buddy. As that's how many people are in the Premier League of Darts. There's 10 this year. They've got rid of the contenders, so we're back to a 10-man format, which is great. But no more contenders in the tournament anymore, as Gary Anderson hits a 140 to get himself down to 181 after 6 darts. Chloe putting, I still think he's going to be close. However, I remember the Taylor Cross final a few years back. I know it was Phil's last tournament then, but it wasn't as close as I thought it would be. And then there's also Chris saying, when Mardle said it was 33-1 for a 9-darter tonight, he put £4.27 on it. I wish I could put money on it, because I would have put money on a 9-darter. Just cause, why not? And then Chloe's put a 9-darter in a World Darts Championship final would be awesome. As Price looks to check out 63, which he does. And that's a good 63 check out there. 12-dart leg from Gerwyn Price, who gets the first leg of this third set. And I'm not going to lie, the drink, I can already kind of feel like it's getting to my head. And we're only, what, about half an hour into the game. Oh dear, this could be a good night. Ken putting, come on Price. Well, he'd be delighted with that check out there, as he gets the first leg on the board. And then Austin saying there, thanks Chris. But yeah, the contenders rule now, they don't have that in the competition anymore. They've got rid of it. So we're going back to a 10-man format. However, what I've heard in the background as Gerwyn Price looks for a 180 and gets 135, that we might not see the Premier League of Darts start in February, from what I've heard. It might actually start later in the year, depending on the whole COVID situation. So we'll have to find out what happens there. But fingers crossed, we might have it start in February, because I am going to be covering it live on the channel. But in terms of the averages right now, Gerwyn Price is up to 101. Gary Anderson at a 95 average. So we're ton plus for Gerwyn Price so far in this game. Ken putting up the shop and get some beers in. And I've got Jim right now. Eat something to keep sober. The worst thing is, Dimski, is I had a McDonald's before the stream started. So yeah, I'm kind of not hungry right now, I'm not gonna lie. But it will be one of those where if Gary Anderson wins tonight, there'll be a big party on this channel. And to be fair, if Gerwyn Price wins as well, I don't mind it. I like Gerwyn Price as he goes 2 legs up here with a tops checkout. And Gerwyn Price is looking like he's going to go 2-1 up on sets. Chris put, isn't Adrian Lewis the only man to hit a 9-darter in a world final, which was versus Anderson in 2011? I think you're correct, Chris. I'm pretty sure with the stats. You're spot on there. So hopefully we can maybe see that change tonight. As Gerwyn Price hits a 180. Well. He needs another 3 for a 9-darter chance. Gary Anderson hitting 100. How about a 9-darter chance here, Gerwyn? Starts off with a 20, so there'll be no 9-darter opportunity, sadly. But if there was a 9-darter in a final, I'll go absolutely mental whether it's Gerwyn or Gary. It'd be incredible to see one. But Gerwyn Price here at 261. Gary Anderson at 306. 136 might be enough here for Gary Anderson as he gets himself down to a big fish finish. But Gerwyn Price at 261. He's looking for a 180. And gets a 180. That's a 180 there. And that is the 5th 180 of the match. I hope you're keeping count of your 180s. But Gary Anderson looking to check out 170. Oh, he gets it. Nice, brilliant from Gary. Go on, lad. 170 checkout. That was an absolutely brilliant checkout there from Gary Anderson. With a 170, you love to see it. That is brilliant there from Gary. And it makes it 2-1 on legs. The pace of that 170 there. He was really quick to chuck the dart at the treble and he gets it in the end. And that is brilliant from Gary Anderson as he looks to fight back in this game. He needs 2 legs to make it 2-1. Very good start to this final, you have to say. Both players just starting to get a swing of how this match is going to go. I think a bit of nerves in that first set, which is understandable. You know, both players are playing for a massive prize here, but ultimately now both players look a little bit more confident in this game. So 170 finish from Gary here, but a chance for a 180 from Gerwyn Price. Opts to go for the 19 instead and gets himself down to 124 after a 139. Dimsky said, didn't the Power do a 9-darter in the final? I'm trying to think now. Did he do one in the final? I can't remember off the top of my head. Chris is going to check because he's a legend and he's going to make it easier for us. We will find out and see if there was another 9-darter in the final. We're up to 1,562 subs, so whoever's left a sub, either Gareth Bell, Hart, or me, God bless you for leaving a sub. Really appreciated. I know there was a lot of people in the stream earlier that were complaining about this watch-along not having the actual game on live, but because of copyright, of course, we can't. But Gerwyn Price here, he's 2-1 on sets as he checks out 60, and well, we saw Gary Anderson get a 170 there, but it wasn't going to be enough as Gerwyn did go 2 legs up initially and does go now 2-1 up on sets, and he will be hoping tonight he can become the world #1 if he wins this game tonight, which would be massive for him. Absolutely massive indeed. Let's replenish the drink in a second as Gary Anderson here starts off with 26. Not a good start there for Gary Anderson at this stage in the match. And Gerwyn Price there getting the 14 dart leg to get that second set on the board. So a good start from Gerwyn Price there. And Chloe's just put that Phil hasn't thrown one in the final. So you might be right, Chris. Adrian Lewis, I'm pretty sure Adrian Lewis was one of the only people to hit a 9-darter in a final. I can't remember, can't remember Taylor hitting one in the final. You know, he hit one against James Wade. In fact, he hit 2, didn't he, against James Wade, I'm pretty sure. But he hit 2 at one point, didn't he? I can't remember who it was against, but... yeah, Chris in there. Taylor hasn't thrown one in the World's final. So that answers that question. As Gerwyn Price looks for a 180 in this game. He gets a 180. So that is 6 180s in this match. But Gary Anderson was about to get a 7th, but he gets 140 to put himself down to 101. Gerwyn Price at 84 even. So gets to 20. Gets to treble 14. So he's going to have 1 dart here at double 11 to take a leg in this 4th set. And he gets it. And this is a really good start for Gerwyn Price. Looking very comfortable in this game, you have to admit. And Gary Anderson is going to have some work to do if he wants to win this. And to be honest, as much as Gary Anderson, you know, if he wins this, he'll be delighted. But I think at the same time, if Gary was to lose this, you know, he said before, as Gerwyn looks to hit another 180, and gets a 140. I think Gary Anderson himself, you know, will probably say, look, at the end of the day, if Gerwyn Price beats me, playing darts, doing well, I think he'll put his hands up and say, do you know what, the guy deserves it. Because he's done very well to come clutch through some very tough games. I think even Gary himself probably didn't expect to make the final. But fair play to Gerwyn Price. It's a good start here. 73% on his doubles. But Gary Anderson's not doing bad either. Only 50% on his doubles. And I'm saying only. It's a very good score as Anderson gets a 140 to leave 166. Chris put Taylor did hit 2 versus Wade. I thought it was against Wade. In the Premier League Darts Final 2010, he missed 1 dart for free. I remember in that final. He did, didn't he? Because everybody booed him. And he just laughed at everyone. I thought he had. So Gary Anderson gets 92 to leave 74. Gerwyn Price at 240 here, which means Gary Anderson is going to have at least 3 darts to the 74. Might have 6. Ben Peterson, you legend. How are you doing? He says, evening Mo. Hope you're well. I hope you're all good, buddy. Gary Anderson here on for a doubles 8, which he doesn't get, which means Gerwyn Price is coming at 140. But are we all good, Ben? You're absolute legend. God bless your soul. Welcome along to the stream. Welcome along to the party. As Gary Anderson comes back here for double 4 to make it 1 leg apiece in this 4th set of the match. First dart hits 4, second dart needed at double 2. He's got 1 dart left in hand, which he does get at the double 2. And it's 1 leg apiece in this 4th set, and you have to admit that Gary Anderson here does really need to get this 2nd set on the board and keep Gerwyn Price close in this game. And just make sure that he doesn't start running away from him in this final, because Gerwyn Price is looking very good indeed. Dimsky saying not the same without Phil the Power. It certainly isn't. It's a shame, isn't it? It would be nice to have Phil Taylor still in the game, but I think even he said, you know, he couldn't match the best, as Gerwyn Price hits another 180 in this game, and that is the 7th 180 in this match. And I will look back at your comments a little bit later on and find out if somebody did get the score correct, or whether I'm going to keep the £10 in my back pocket. Who knows, that might get me a takeaway tomorrow. So that's 2 180s for Gary, 5 180s for Gerwyn Price. And Price gets 98 to leave himself at 164, with Gary Anderson all the way back at 350. So Gerwyn Price is going to have 6 darts here at the 164, with Gary Anderson at 255. And he's not set himself up well here. Only gets 44 to leave 211. Sorry, 120. So Gary Anderson here has to punish as he looks to get a 140, opts to go for the bull instead, and gets 130 to leave 125. So Gerwyn Price going to have to check out the 120 here. Gets the treble 20. Gets the 20. So 1 dart at tops here for a good tumpless finish and a 2-1 leg lead in the 4th set. Big moment in the game, we feel. Which he gets, and that's a big roar from Gerwyn Price as he gets a 2-1 leg lead and a chance to go 3-1 up on sets. And I will say for those of you watching that on the right hand side of the stream, it will the scoreboard will be a little bit further ahead than I am, so you will kind of have a bit of an advantage to see what's going on before I do. So I do apologise about that, but as I said, it makes life a lot more easier for you guys to see what's going on, having that on the screen rather than the scoreboard I had at the start. But Gary Anderson here is going to be feeling nervous because Gerwyn Price has a chance to go 3-1 up on sets. And Chloe says, I asked Google about Phil Taylor and if he's thrown in 9 darts in the World Darts Championship ever, and apparently he's never done it. Never done it? That's mad when you think about it. You'd have thought Phil Taylor would have hit a 9 darts for at least once in the World Darts Championship, but that's mad that. Obviously he hit 2 against James Wade in the Premier League. He hit... Who did he hit another one? Is it fair few, hasn't he, Phil Taylor? But I'd have thought he'd hit one of the World Darts. Chris, I swear to God I will do a rant on my channel if Barney comes back to PDC and then gets put in the Premier League. As Gary Anderson looks to hit a 180 and gets a 140 to leave himself at 144. But imagine if Barney gets put in the Premier League. Oh no, don't do it, PDC. If they've got the balls, don't put him in. Don't put him in. Look, you know, Barney's an alright player, but if you put him in the Premier League next year, then it's an awful decision. I don't think they will. I don't think they will, Chris. But Gerwyn Price here hits tops and takes a 3-1 set lead, and Gary Anderson is chasing in this match. And I have to say, Gerwyn Price, he knows tonight that he's got to win this game if he wants to become the world #1. And as it currently stands, he's got a 3-1 set lead over Gary Anderson, and he's looking very comfortable and calm in this game. Doesn't seem to be missing much in terms of opportunities, specifically at tops right now, but as it currently stands, Gerwyn Price with a 3-1 lead, and Gary Anderson has got some chasing to do. We'll find out what happens when the game kicks off in a few moments' time. We'll talk about the last 2 sets we saw in a moment, but as it stands, Gerwyn Price with a 3-1 lead, Gary Anderson is on the chase. Back in a moment. Remember, if you're new to the stream, as always, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. It is greatly, greatly appreciated for those of you that have joined on the channel today for this live watch-along of the World Darts Championship final between Gary Anderson and Gerwyn Price. And as it currently stands, it is 3-1 to Gerwyn Price, who knows that he has a chance to go world #1 if he wins this game tonight. And he's currently with a 3-1 lead over Gary Anderson, and I have to say, Gerwyn is looking very hungry tonight to go and get himself a potential chance of becoming world #1. In fact, looking at the stats of this game, the overall average of the match so far, Gerwyn Price on 102.47. As for Gary Anderson, he's averaging 95.07. In terms of the checkouts, only 41.18% for Gary Anderson right now. That's 7 out of 17 opportunities at doubles. As for Gerwyn Price, I have to put my hands up right now and say, if Gerwyn Price continues the way he's going, this could be a fairly quick final. And that is no offence to Gary Anderson. As I said, I'm a much more of a Gary Anderson fan than I am a Gerwyn Price fan. But I have to say right now, with the way that Gerwyn Price is checking out, unless Gary Anderson can up his game here a little bit, this could be a fairly quick final, because he's he's getting right now 76.92% of his doubles. That's 10 out of 13 at doubles in the entirety of the match so far. That is how good Gerwyn Price is playing on his doubles. And with the way that it's going right now, Gary Anderson is going to have to improve his finishing in this game, because Gerwyn Price, to me, is looking fairly scary. And if we're judging on how this game has started so far within the first 4 sets, Gerwyn Price deserves it. And I'm not going to be a Gary Anderson fan who sits there and says, look, Gary Anderson deserves to win because I like Gary Anderson. I think he's the greatest player in the world. Gerwyn Price is genuinely looking very, very good here. And as for Ken Tenney, saying Price looking good, the trophy's coming home, coming onto Markham. I genuinely got to agree with you right now, I think, Ken. With the way he's looking with this game, I do think Gerwyn Price is looking like he might go on and win this. Gary Anderson has got to up his game here a bit, because if we look at the last 2 sets we just witnessed, in set 3, Gary Anderson was 100% on his checkouts, but he only had 1 opportunity at doubles, hence why he's at 100%. But Gerwyn Price was 100% himself. That was 3 opportunities at doubles, which he hit every time. Although Gary Anderson did average at 103, Gerwyn Price averaged 120.19 in that 3rd set. And then in the 4th set, it's a contrasting story. Gary Anderson had 5 opportunities at doubles and only hit 1 to be at 20%. As for Gerwyn Price, hit all 3 doubles. That's 100% in the match. And so far, I will put my hands up and say, it's Gerwyn Price's game to lose right now, because Gary Anderson has some work to do in this match. And as it currently stands, it's Gerwyn Price 3, Gary Anderson 1. Can he get back into this game, Gary? That's the question. Do you think Gary Anderson can get back in this match? Do tell us in the chat, are you Team Gary or Team Gerwyn? But don't forget, if you're new to the channel, as always, if you've enjoyed the watch along so far, do remember to leave a like and a subscription. It is greatly appreciated. We started last year on the Sports Corner. We're a channel that does sports watch-alongs. So over the next coming weeks, we've got some football watch-alongs. We've got the NFL playoffs, which we're going to be covering live on the channel with Kieran and Will, not Rowan, as I said yesterday. And then Rowan will actually be doing a Royal Rumble watch along, I believe he said earlier on today. So don't forget to keep your eyes out on the channel because there's plenty more watch alongs to come. If you do enjoy those, I know of course some people don't, hence why I nearly smashed my glass there. Hence why I said we're not showing the match, of course. I know some people don't like streams like this, but for those of you that have stayed in the stream, there's over 100 of you. God bless your soul. I bloody love you all. But look at the chat right now. It's Gary Anderson. It's here to 180. That's what we love to see. That's the 8th 180 in the match. Remember your 180 score. We'll come back to that later. For those of you that did put your predictions in earlier, you got a chance to win £10 in cash. But look in the chat right now. Chris has put, winning the match is all that matters. I couldn't care less about hitting 9 data. You don't turn your medal over and says you've hit 9 data. Doesn't mean anything. You're there to win the trophy. And this is the thing. I agree with you, Chris, because look at the amount of 180s, 9 datas we've seen in this competition, where realistically players have hit it and they've gone on to lose the game. In fact, I remember a few years ago where I'm pretty sure there was 2 players on the same day that hit 9 data. One of them was Kyle Anderson, I remember, and both of them lost the match after hitting 9 datas. And it's the same for James Wade. He hit a 9 data in his game, lost the match. It shouldn't be about hitting a 9 data as Gerwyn Price gets 140 to leave himself down at 83. So Gary Anderson here at 90 with a chance at treble 20 double 15, which he's not going to be able to hit here unless he gets treble 17, which he doesn't get, which means Gerwyn Price will be coming back for an 83 checkout. So Gerwyn Price here, opportunity to check out 83, gets 17, gets treble, I think 19 there, which means he's got a chance at double 9, which he gets, and that is a leg on the board for Gerwyn Price, and he has a 1 leg lead in this 5th set of the match, and he is looking very calm and comfortable in this game. And with the way that it's going right now, if Gerwyn Price goes 4-1 up, no offence, I like Gary Anderson, but just hand Gerwyn Price the title because I can't see Gary Anderson hitting 3 on the bounce. As Gary hits 85 with his first 3 darts to leave 4-1-6. Ben Peterson putting Team Gerwyn. Well, you'll be loving it right now, Ben, because he is absolutely fucking smashing it with a 3-1 set lead. Close, but the funny thing is that Phil Taylor is still second on the 9 darters. MVG's in first on 24. Who's in third as we hit another 180? That's another one for Gary in the match. That's 9 in the game, which is massive. We will be into double figures soon on the 180s. Chris, but I'm glad Wade didn't celebrate. That's where to do it. Not like Win Stanley, who ran off stage like he won the Worlds. Well, the thing is as well, I understand with James Wade's 9 data because ultimately, I think in my opinion, with the way that he was playing in that game, I'm pretty sure he averaged like 66 in one of the sets. I don't think James really felt like he wanted to celebrate because he was just playing so poor in the match, which is understandable. I completely understand why he didn't celebrate because I do personally think that realistically it was a bit of a stinker of a game for him as Gary Anderson tried to check out 96 but doesn't hit the double 9. Which means Gerwyn Price here, a chance at a 97. Cameron put Corey on Gary, step it up, everyone wants a last leg decider. I think he might want to get back before Corey finishes Cameron at this rate with the way he's playing. As Gerwyn Price looks to check out 97 and with the way he's been playing he won't miss double 20. And of course he doesn't. He hits the double 20. He's not missed it once in the game so far. And Gerwyn Price here looks like he's about to go 4-1 up on sets. Just give him the title. Gary Anderson is having a stinker. Well, it's not really Gary Anderson having a stinker. It's more the fact Gerwyn's playing so bloody good. And I think you've got to say that with the way that Gerwyn's playing, this could be on course for his best performance of the tournament. Which, of course, the perfect time to bring it is in the final. Fair play to him. But if you haven't subscribed yet, we're at 1,561. We're trying to push towards 1,600 subs. So if you haven't left a sub yet, then please, please do if you've enjoyed this watch along so far. We've got a lovely, lovely community of people on here. You can see we've got the likes of Ben, we've got Chloe, we've got Cameron, Kenny's in here as well, and Dimsky, Chris as well. We've got Rowan and Kieran's. Above the Kieran's, of course, that pop in from time to time. It'd be lovely for you to join this lovely community of people, because we've got some fantastic people in here. And I'll be covering the Premier League of Darts in February as well, so you can watch me get even more smashed on stream. Ben Peterson putting, though, with no fans it's pointless celebrating. With the place packed out, then why not go mental? I would. Call me a moody bastard if you want, but just saying the truth about 9 darts, you're there to win the tournament. Well, that's true. I think sometimes, Chris, I think it's a fair point to make, because I wouldn't say it's a moody thing, but, you know, yes, it is an achievement. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of players out there that get so geared up at the fact that they've got a 9-darter that it does break the play. And ultimately, it allows the other person to get back into the match. As Gary Anderson, once again, misses a chance to finish 70. And he's having an absolute stinker. Dimsky saying, not good for Gary. Poor final, no classic today. Sadly not, it's looking like. As Gerwyn Price has 1 dart at 9-9 for a 4-1 lead, which he doesn't get. So Gary Anderson is coming back for 5-5. Chloe's put Adrian Lewis is 3rd on 12. Chizzy's 4th on 11. As Gary Anderson gets 5-5 to make it 2-1 on the legs. He has to get the next 2 legs on the bounce here to fight back in this game. Price is so reminding me how crossplay to win the world. Well, this is the thing. For me, it reminds me of Peter Wright's performance last year, because I've said it about 6,000 times before. I'm going to say it again. With the way that Peter Wright played in his tournament last year, pretty much every game he played in was a battle. You know, he played this one, had to battle in that match quite often to get back into the game. He played against Malik Dem, only went through on a last leg decider, I think. Throughout that tournament, multiple times he was challenging in last leg deciders, he was going to last sets. Gerwyn Price has played the same way. He's had a lot of games where he's gone really close. You know, the Darryl Gurney game was really close. The Stephen Bunting game was a tricky match. The other games he's played in, Jamie Lewis, that was a tough match. He's had a really, really tough run throughout this tournament so far that I just feel like you have to give Gerwyn Price some credit for the way he's played. As for Gary Anderson, the real big test he has was against Dirk van Dijvenbode, as Gerwyn Price gets himself 134 to leave 76 with Gary Anderson back at 210. So Gary Anderson getting 100 to leave 110. A chance here for Gerwyn Price to check out 76 and go 4-1 up on sets. Treble 20 double 8 needed for Gerwyn Price. Gets the 20. Gets 16. So 1 dart at tops. He's not missed tops at all in this match. And he still doesn't miss at tops. It's a 4-1 lead for Gerwyn Price and Gary Anderson. What the fuck are you doing? He's having a stinker. And as much as you can say Gary's having a stinker, you have to give credit right now to Gerwyn Price, who is playing out of his skin to potentially go and batter Gary Anderson in this final. It's 4-1 to Gerwyn Price. There's going to be a long, long way to go in this game if Gary Anderson wants to get back into it. But as it currently stands, it's Gerwyn Price 4, Gary Anderson 1. A lot of work to do for Gary. Back in a moment. Gary Anderson has got a lot of work to do in this game if he wants to get back into the match, because as it currently stands, Gerwyn Price is 4-1 up on sets right now, and you have to admit that he's playing a very, very good game indeed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to refresh the scoreboard, because apparently they're still playing on the hockey right now, which I don't quite believe if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, there's a lot of work to do right now for Gerwyn Price. He's no, he's 4-1 up in this game. He's not 3-1 up. He's 4-1, isn't it? Maybe I'm just absolutely battered out my head right now, but he's 4-1 up in this game right now, Gerwyn Price. He's got a lot of work to do, Gary Anderson, if he wants to get back into this match, as Austin says. Or Austin. Is it Austin or Austin? However you want me to pronounce it, Austin. Dart seems like a much bigger mental game than skill. You can have all the skill in the world, but if you're off mentally, it's easy to collapse. Opposite is true if you're in the zone. Completely agree with you with that one, Austin there. It is one of those games where, you know, you could be the best darts player in the world, but look at, for example, at the game with MVG. Lost 5-0 against Dave Chisnell, and he's the best player in the world, and just couldn't seem to be able to really get into the game. But as it currently stands, Gary Anderson is currently 4-1 down to Gerwyn Price, and I don't know why the scoreboard has just broke. I will get that back up in a second, and I will talk about the statistics of the match. But Joe in the stream saying, come on Gary boy, he's got some work to do. He needs to win 3 sets on the bounce to at least make it 4-4 as he stands right now. Dimsky saying will be the greatest comeback in history if Gary wins. If Gary wins, I'll go fucking mental. I'll take my shirt off. I don't think that's even allowed on YouTube, but remember, if you want to use the stream, don't forget to leave a like and subscription. It is greatly appreciated for those of you that have enjoyed this watch along so far. We're at 1,561 subs. Can we reach 1,600 by the end of the night? You can be part of a fantastic community of people if you do leave a like and a subscription. We're at 68 right now. How about getting us to 69? Will be fantastic indeed. But thank you to all of you that have joined the stream. But Gerwyn Price right now, he's 4-1 up on Gary Anderson, and in terms of the stats of the match, as the scoreboard should be back up on your screen, Gerwyn Price averaging 101.83 in this game so far. Gary Anderson averaging 95.90 and only 36.36% on his checkouts. As for Gerwyn Price, he's got 72.22% on his doubles, which is 13 out of 18 on doubles. And I have to say, probably about 12 of those 13s have been on tops. He just doesn't seem to be missing anything right now at tops, Gerwyn Price in this game. And there's going to be a long, long way to go here for Gary Anderson to make a comeback. But he's got to improve very quickly in this match if he has any hopes of getting back into this game. We have just got a new subscriber, so whoever you are, you've got us up to 1,562. God bless your soul, you're an absolute legend. But both players are back out onto the hockey here for this game. Remember tonight, at the end of the match, we will be talking about the Premier League of Darts. We will be officially knowing the 10-man setup for that tournament, which takes place at the beginning of February, of course. It's every night on a Thursday, which we'll be covering live on the Sports Corner in a few weeks' time. Stuart Pearce, though, saying here, hopefully Gary can make a comeback. Does anyone know what the biggest comeback is in a World's Final? If anyone can find it out, put it in the chat. It would be interesting to know what the biggest comeback is. Gary Anderson hits a 180. For those of you that have got a chance of winning £10 cash, we're now to double figures. 4 180s in this game, so if you did predict 9, your prediction is over, as Gerwyn Price gets a 140 to leave himself down at 100, with Gary Anderson all the way back at 179. So go in here with 6 starts at 100. Dimsky putting, you need a dicky bow with that shirt, mate. Well, funnily enough, if I put like it really close to the screen, I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually like bow ties on the actual shirt itself. So quite funnily enough, there is actually dicky bows on the shirt. Chris is, not Chris, bloody hell, Chloe's put in the chat, it would be great to see, but if it happens I would feel sorry for Price as well, as Gary Price hits a 140 to get himself down to 3-6-1 after 3 darts. I think the thing is though here for Gerwyn Price is he has to make sure in this game he doesn't allow Gary Anderson that chance. And right now I don't think he will. I genuinely think that at this rate this game's going to end 7-2, 7-3 if we're lucky. I just genuinely think here that Gerwyn Price is going to steamroll him. And for the fans, if Gary Anderson doesn't win tonight, it looks like Rob Cross, the world number 4, is going to be the Premier League of Darts. Yay! I mean, no offence to Rob Cross, he's world number 4, but he's had a bit of a stinker of a year. And ultimately, I think we want to see Gary Anderson in it. So Gerwyn Price here at 161. No, sorry, Gary Anderson. Gerwyn Price at 161. Gets treble 17, 1 dart for a bull. And with the way that Gerwyn's played, you'd expect him to finish it. And he does. A 161 finish from Gerwyn Price sums up how well he's playing in this game. And he's 1 leg away from a 5-1 fucking set lead. He's shitting all over Gary right now. I feel like my boy's been massacred as he hits a 1-7-7 for a chance at a 9-darter. Gary Anderson is being outplayed right now. And we're not drinking in celebration. We're drinking to forget how poor Gary Anderson is playing right now. 2 treble 20s. Surely a 180 here for Gerwyn Price. We're on for a 9-darter. Come on, Gerwyn. Chance for a 9-darter. That's the 11th 180 in the game. So 2 treble 20s and a double 12 for a 9-darter in a World Darts Championship final. First dart hits treble 20. Second dart hits treble 20. Double 12. Oh, he's missed it. Oh, there was a chance for a 9-darter in the final. We could have had an unbelievable 9-darter in the final. And Gerwyn Price is going to hit double 12 here to go 5-1 up in this game for a 10-dart leg. And he gets it. It's 5-1 to Gerwyn Price. This final's going to be done in about 20 minutes at this rate. Unbelievable performance so far from Gerwyn Price, who is surely, right now, playing one of the best finals that there's been in terms of a one-man performance. Not the best final in terms of the outcome of the game and how it's been played. It's not a classic. But right now he is playing one of the best performances that there's surely been in a final in terms of how comfortable he's looking. In that last set, he won leg 1 by 11 darts, 12 darts in leg 2, 10 darts in leg 3. And while we were talking about a 9-darter maybe, Gerwyn Price is averaging 136.6 right now in set 6. Fucking hell, just give me 2 seconds. Oh, I've got hiccups there, apologies about that. He's averaging 136 in that last set. This is how good he's playing right now. I think a 9-darter would have summed it up perfectly there. Chris saying, just give Price the trophy. Pains me to say, well-deserved winner. I predicted a 7-5 Price. Gary Anderson just doesn't seem to be able to break Gerwyn Price down right now. He's not in a great game, Gary Anderson. But at the same time, you can look at it and say, look, Gerwyn Price is playing the game of his life right now. He will look back and he will say, you know, he's had better performances in his career in terms of other games that he's played and other performances against players. But the biggest performance of his life, to become world number 1, and this is proving right now why he deserves that spot. He has played absolutely unbelievable in this game. So Gary Anderson with a chance at a 1-3-4 checkout, which he's not going to get. So Gerwyn Price here for the first leg of this 7th set. And Gary Anderson is looking at a potential chance of a mauling from Gerwyn Price. So 2 darts at tops, and he hits it again. And I just have to put my hands up and say, just walk off stage, Gary Anderson, and give him the Gerwyn Price, give Gerwyn Price the bloody trophy. He's playing the game of his life. As he looks for a 180. He gets a 180 to start his second leg, the 7th set. And that's the 12th 180 of the match. But Gary Anderson gets a 180 of his own, and that's 13 in the match. Probably keeping count of your 180s. And Gary Anderson now on for a 9-darter as Gerwyn Price hits 20. Chloe saying, I was trying to find the greatest comebacks in the World Darts Championship. However, Google decided to play up as Gary Anderson hits treble 20 and gets 100 to leave himself down at 2-2-1 after 6 darts. Gerwyn Price looking to get a 180 here to leave 41. He's going to, I think, change his mind here and go for 19, which he does. And he gets treble 19 to leave himself at 44. So Gerwyn Price with 3 darts at 44. You'd assume with the way he's playing, he's going to go 4 tops. That would be my guess. So he does get 4, which means he's going to go for tops here. Gerwyn Price, which he's not missed. And he gets it again. And I cannot believe what we are witnessing right now. He's not missed really any darts in this game. In fact, he's hit 75% of his checkouts in this match. We are surely witnessing right now one of the greatest ever final performances in the history of the World Championship. Maybe there's been better. Maybe I'm overhyping this game. But an individual performance, Gerwyn Price is playing the game of his life. And I cannot see Gary Anderson getting a set on the board here. And as Dimsky puts time to drown my sorrows work tomorrow though, I'm drowning my sorrows as away too. But I can put my hands up and say I like Gerwyn Price as a player. And just give him the title now. He deserves to be world number 1. An unbelievable performance here from Gerwyn Price. So Gary Anderson down to 210, but Gerwyn Price looking for a 180 here, which he gets, and that's another 180 in this game. And that is the 14th in the match with Gerwyn Price at 182, and I genuinely think that this game is going to be done in 10 minutes. Liam Gallagher's in the stream again. He thought, hello mate, love your work, just wondered whether you had any further ideas or whether or not they should introduce oil into fake taxi videos. For example, a massage episode. As Gary Anderson misses 110. I love you, Liam Gallagher. God bless your soul. We have him in the stream. He comes in every few weeks, puts a random comment in. God bless you, man. God bless you. So Gerwyn Price here for double 12 for a 6-1 lead. He's missed. So Gary Anderson's going to have to jump here with a double 10. And I guarantee you he's not. And he doesn't. He had 2 darts at double 10, hit the 10 and then misses the double 5. Which means Gerwyn Price now for a 6-1 lead. 7 legs on the bounce. A double 12. 2 darts at double 6 for a 6-1 lead. 1 dart at double 3 now. Bit of an awkward one. And he doesn't get it. So Gary Anderson is coming back with 2 darts at double 2. Chloe asking, I don't know how MVG would react actually, but we could be in for an interesting year. It could make MVG more determined to get it, or Peter Wright 2. How long would Price hold on to world number 1? As Gary Anderson hits double 2 and gets a leg on the board. That's the first time in 7 legs that we've seen Gary Anderson take a leg to his name as Gerwyn Price hits a 1-2-1. Dimsky put Bristow beats George 6-0 best ever. Okay, I will let Bristow off on that one. A 6-0 win is definitely the best ever. But even then, with an extra set on the board in this game, to potentially go 6-1 up is unbelievable. But this is an absolutely unbelievable performance from Gerwyn Price right now. Cannot believe what we're witnessing. As he looks on course here to get the 4th leg on the board of this 7th set and go 6-1 up in what will... Well, I mean, of course, I assume the Bristol final was quicker than this, but this has got to go down, surely, if Gerwyn Price wins this 7-1 as one of the quickest finals there's ever been in the tournament. But if you have enjoyed it so far, don't forget to leave a like and subscription. It's greatly appreciated as we are around about near towards 1,600 subs. So, Gerwyn Price here having a bit of an off period, which Gary Anderson needs to capitalise on. But he's not, as he only gets 100 to leave 114. But he's going to have 3 darts of that 114. And Gary Anderson needs to get the next set on the board here, or you would expect this game to be done in the next 10 minutes. Not going to be able to check out the 114 here unless he gets treble 18, which he does double 20, which he doesn't get. Which means Gerwyn Price is coming back at the 80 checkout, treble 20, double 10. Gets 20, which means 20 and tops for a 6-1 lead on sets. He's not missed any darts as far as I'm aware, apart from maybe 1 at tops. And he's missed it. He's hit the double 1 there, which means Gary Anderson is coming back for a deciding leg on double 10. Which he gets. And Gary Anderson has a chance to maybe make this 5-2 and make Gerwyn Price just work a little bit longer in this game. Chris has put the old Gary Anderson turned up in this final. That's what I mean by that when he first came to PDC, missing so many doubles for fun. Well, that's what they say, isn't it? Doubles for dough. He's not hitting the doubles right now, Gary Anderson. But he's got to get the next set on the board if there's any hope of a comeback. I just can't see it happening right now. Gerwyn Price should have this game done and dusted within the next 15-20 minutes, in my opinion. As he gets 100 to start to match the 100 that Gary Anderson got a moment ago. So Gerwyn Price here at 2 legs apiece in this match. Nervous times here for Gary Anderson. He only gets 60, which means Gerwyn Price has a chance to capitalise. He's at 401 here, and he only gets 59. So a little bit of a tricky patch here for Gerwyn Price, but he doesn't have to worry. He's got to hope that Gary Anderson doesn't win 5 sets on the bounce, which is very unlikely right now in this game, as Gary Anderson's down to 201. So there might be a chance here for Gary Anderson to take us into a break with a set on the board, which will give him some confidence, but he's got to do something unbelievable in this game for what would be surely one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the sport if he was to do it. As he gets 81, so Gary Anderson at 120 with Gerwyn Price at 259. A 180 would do perfect here for Price. He doesn't get a 180, but he does get 104. So Gary Anderson at 120, Price at 158. Gets treble 20. Has one dart at top here, or one dart even, which he doesn't get. So Gerwyn Price with a chance at a 158 checkout. So 2 treble 20s and a double 19 for an incredible 158 finish, which he's not going to be able to get. So Gary Anderson will be coming back at tops to make it 5-2 and maybe give him some belief at trying to come back in this game. First dart a little bit too high at tops, but the second dart is in there, and Gary Anderson will have a set to his name for the first time in quite some time, and Gerwyn Price, who probably felt like there for a few moments he was going to be able to steamroll his way towards potentially a 7-1 win against Gary Anderson, has maybe some work to do as he gets a second set on the board in this game. And if Gary Anderson wants to come back, he's got to win the next 4 legs on the bounce to take the lead. He needs to win 3 sets on the bounce to make it 5-5. It's looking very doubtful, but we've seen stranger things in darts. Can Gary Anderson do it, or will Gerwyn Price steamroll his way to a World Darts Championship win and the #1 ranking in the world? We'll find out, and we'll talk about those 2 last sets we watched a moment ago in a moment. 5-2 to Gerwyn Price, back in a second. And as it stands in the match, maybe there's some cause for concern for Gerwyn Price, because he's now 5-2 in this game against Gary Anderson. And it was looking like, with the way that the game was going, Gerwyn Price was going to steamroll his way potentially towards a 7-1, 7-2 win. But he's got some work to do now, because Gary Anderson has got himself a set on the board. And as Chloe has said in the chat, if Gary can win the next set, it will make things interesting. It's not necessarily going to be easy here for Gerwyn Price to go on and win the game if Gary can keep clawing himself sets back in the match. And the nerves, of course, will begin to build progressively as this game goes on, as Gerwyn Price starts to believe that he can become the world #1 at the Ali Pali tonight. But in terms of the match stats overall so far, for those of you wondering how the game is panning out, Gary Anderson is averaging 94.22. Gerwyn Price is averaging 102.3. In terms of the checkouts, Gerwyn Price just dropped down a little bit now, only 62.7%, 0.7% even on his checkouts. That's 18 out of 29 at doubles. Gary Anderson still lacking in this game at 32.35%. That's 11 out of 34 opportunities at doubles. There has been a total of 14 180s in this match so far, 6 for Gary Anderson and 8 for Gerwyn Price. So still, we need some 180s on the board for your predictions tonight. But if you're new to the stream, as always, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. This is the Sports Corner. We do live sporting watch-alongs on the channel. If you're into your NFL playoffs, they start next Saturday. The boys, Kieran and Will, will be covering those NFL playoffs live. I'm pretty sure it'll be next Sunday that they'll be live covering some of the NFL playoffs. So keep your eyes out if you do like the NFL. As for the wrestling as well, Rowan and Simon, they do a wrestling podcast. There's also going to be some Royal Rumble watch-alongs, I'm pretty sure, in the next coming weeks. And then also, we will have the Premier League of Darts, which is in February, fingers crossed. I'll be covering those games live on the channel in a few weeks' time, and the Premier League will be back, and we'll have 10 players playing in that tournament, which we will know who is playing in the Premier League by the end of tonight, which is going to be very interesting indeed. We'll talk about that tonight at the end of this, of course, match, as well as we'll be talking about, I'll probably do another video for it as well on the channel, to kind of briefly talk about who's going to be in that Premier League of Darts. Remember, the contenders will not be used next year. We are back to a 10-man league system, so who would you like to see in the Premier League of Darts? Do put it in the comments below. But both players are back out onto the hockey here for what is going to be the 8th set of the match. And as it currently stands, Gerwyn Price is 2 sets away from his first World Championship to his name and a spot as the world #1 if he can win the match. But can Gary Anderson fight back? Another set on the board here would make things interesting. Chris saying there's a saying, getting over finishing line will bring the nerves. It certainly does indeed. And Gerwyn Price here having a little blip in the game while Gary Anderson has got to capitalise while Gerwyn Price is feeling the pressure. In terms of the last set, Gerwyn Price averaged 136.6 in set 6. He's now only averaging 89.7 in set 7. But Gary Anderson here has to get this next set on the board, because if it goes 6-2, then Gary will be always chasing the game for the rest of the match. But can he get it back? There's another 180 though. This time to Gary Anderson. And that is the 15th of the game. And we are rocking and rolling with the 180s tonight, which is of course what we want to see for that prediction. Although Gerwyn Price down here at 36, Gary Anderson can only leave himself at a finish of 85, which means a chance for Gerwyn Price to go 1 leg up in this 8th set. A double 18, which he hits first time. And that is a comfortable double 18 for Gerwyn Price there, who will be looking to get the 6th set to his name tonight and a chance of becoming the world #1. Chloe saying the best scenario for Gary is to win the set 3-0. Well, Gerwyn Price already with a 1-0 lead in this set, so he's going to have to win now 3-1 at the very least. He doesn't want to go 2-0 down on legs here. If he goes 2-0 down on legs, he's chasing again. As Gary Anderson here smashes 131 to leave himself down at 296 with Gerwyn Price at 442. Chloe just putting there that scenario is going to happen now. Unfortunately not, but 3-1 would be good enough for him. We've had another subscriber, by the way. Whoever you are, that's subscribe. God bless you. Thank you so much for leaving a sub on the channel. Greatly, greatly appreciated indeed. So Gary Anderson here gets himself down to 159, but he's not going to be able to check out on that score with Gerwyn Price at 403. So a good opportunity here for Gary Anderson to get himself a leg on the board and make it 1 apiece in this 8th set. Gets 19, gets treble 20, needs another one which he doesn't get. But 99 will leave him down at 60, which will be good enough with Gerwyn Price back at 263. So a chance here for Gary Anderson to check out on 20 and tops. Can he take that opportunity though? Big moment here. So Gary Anderson hits 20. Means he's got 2 darts at tops. 1 dart at double 10. And gets the double 10. And that's a big moment for Gary Anderson there. It makes it 1 leg apiece in this 8th set. And now needs to get the next couple of sets, legs on the board here for any hope of a dream comeback. Maybe mentally in this game, I'm not going to say things are shifting a little bit, because Gary's got a long way to go before he's thinking about winning a world championship. But he might just change a bit as Gary hits a 180. And that is the 16th 180 in this game. And Gerwyn Price here just having a little bit of a slip up in this match. And Gary's got to keep capitalising at every opportunity he's got. Gets a 1 though to start after hitting a 180, which means there'll be no 9 dart opportunity. And he only gets 39, so chances for Gerwyn Price to capitalise on that mistake from Gary Anderson. Hits 20, hits 19, and only hits 59, so Gary let off the hook there a little bit, you have to admit. And Gerwyn Price here is going to have to hit a good score, as Gary Anderson only gets 59, so Gary Anderson down to 223. Gerwyn Price at 318. He's not playing what he was a few moments ago, but a much better score there of 134. Puts Gerwyn Price down to 184 with Gary Anderson at 223. Dimsky put, it was me. I subscribed just now. Hadn't realised I had it before. Thanks for your brilliant channel. Dimsky, God bless your soul. I love you, man. Thank you so much for the sub. You're an absolute legend. And just a big thank you as well, and I'll say at the end of the stream, of course, a big thank you to all of you guys that have come onto this channel over the last couple of weeks. We've been doing these World Dart Championship watch-alongs for the last couple of weeks. As Gary Anderson needs double 11 for a 124 checkout, which he doesn't get. But I never expected these World Dart Championship watch-alongs to do as good as they have. I just thought about doing them a couple of weeks ago, before the tournament started, and I never expected as many people to want to watch these darts watch-alongs, but I just can't believe the sheer amount of support we've had in these streams from all of you guys. So genuinely a big thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of you that have joined us on this stream for these watch-alongs, because I never realised how many people were into darts. Hence why we're going to be doing so many more darts watch-alongs on this channel, because I love it. You know, I get to sit back, I get to enjoy these games, talk to you guys about darts, go crazy when there's a 9-darter or 180s or incredible games, and it's just so nice. To be honest, for me, this has been my favourite watch along that I've done on the channel so far. Original Gunners in the stream, absolute legend. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're good. Nice to see you in the stream once again. He says, hello, sorry I haven't been here lately. Don't apologise about that, legend. You're all good, buddy. He says, if things continue like this, looks like Price is in for a great night. Come on, Gary. Well, Gary here needs to get this next set on the board, although he's got to win the next 2 legs on the bounce, or else Gerwyn Price is going 6-2 up on sets. Chris putting, even if Price forms drops off, I still think he wins. I agree with you. I think he's going to win this, to be honest. Gary Anderson has to hit the form of his life in this game if he wants to basically win this now. And he has to hope that Gerwyn Price basically cocks up. Dimsky saying, and get drunk as well. We love it! That's one thing I don't tend to do on the football streams, because usually if I do that on a football stream, I won't remember which player's who. But double 20 here for Gary Anderson to make it 2 legs apiece, which he doesn't get. So Gerwyn Price is coming back at 72. Treble 20, double 6. And he only gets 8, which means he's going to have to hit treble 8, double 20 here. He's going to go 14. So 1 dart up bull for Gerwyn Price. And he doesn't get it, which means Gary Anderson is coming back here for a double 5 checkout to make it 2 legs apiece. He's only going to have 1 dart now. A double 2. Please hit it, Gary. A double 1. He does. Which means we're going to a deciding leg in this 8th set. And Gary Anderson is going to have to take this, or else Gerwyn Price is taking a 6-2 lead, and he's going 1 set away from a World Championship to his name. As he hits a 140, not a 180. As I thought he'd hit there for a second. Big moment there for Gerwyn Price. Original good putting. Hello, Chris. Not looking good for Anderson. He's been poor tonight. He has. It's been a really poor performance for Gary Anderson. As Gerwyn Price does hit a 180 this time, and that is now the 17th 180 in the match. As Chloe says, wow, shocker, Price misses again. But he's looking like he's going to take a 6-2 set lead here, unless Gary Anderson can get himself a very high score and Gerwyn Price cocks up, which he gets 5, treble 20 and 20, which means Gerwyn Price is down to 96. He's going to have at least 3 darts at it. Gary Anderson could only leave himself a good finish, but he only gets himself 57, which means Gerwyn Price is going to have 6 darts at 96 for a 6-2 set lead. Gets 20. Which means he needs 36 for tops. But of course he's got at least another 3 darts if he wants. Gets 16. So he's going to set himself up here. Which he gets 56 to leave tops. A very good move there from Gerwyn Price. So we'll be coming back here for double 20. But Gary Anderson looking to hit a 180. Which he doesn't. But he hits 174 to leave tops. So if Gerwyn Price doesn't hit this, Gary Anderson could go 5-3. He's not missed many opportunities at double 20 though tonight, Gerwyn Price. And of course, he doesn't miss the opportunity at double 20 there, does he? It's a 6-2 set lead in this game against Gary Anderson. And Gerwyn Price is looking to finish this game off in about 10 minutes time, if he can win the next set, he will win 7-2. Gary Anderson has got to bring the comeback of his life. It doesn't look like it's going to happen for him, unfortunately. But a little moment there where Gary Anderson could have capitalised. But Gerwyn Price does well indeed. It's 6-2 in the match. We'll talk about those last 2 sets in a moment. But as it stands, Gerwyn Price, 1 set away from becoming world number 1. Back in a moment. Well, I just saw Cameron's comment in the stream there. He said, Gary Anderson 7, Gerwyn Price 6. You heard it here first. And that is exactly what Gary Anderson needs to do here if he wants any hope of winning this match. Gerwyn Price is looking around about 10 or 15 minutes away from becoming the world champion. And more importantly for him, well, I'm going to say more, not really more importantly, I think he's more happy about getting the world championship. An important thing for him as well is to become the world number 1, of course, which will be a massive achievement for a player that's only been playing for a few years now, but a really good performance from him. It was a little blip there, you have to admit, in terms of how he was playing. Gary Anderson didn't capitalise, and in the end, it's Gerwyn Price who goes 6-2 up in this match. Chloe saying Gary needs to play the game of his life now. He certainly does indeed if he wants any hope of a comeback. Cameron, of course, saying about the Gary Anderson 7-6, and then Dimsky said that Gary only needs to win the next 15 legs. Only the next 15. Who knows, eh? Probably doubtful. I can't see Gerwyn Price dropping 15 legs at this stage of the match. But overall in the game, 94.83 average for Gary Anderson and 101.63 for Gerwyn Price. Once again, the checkout stat is quite clearly where everything's about tonight. Only 31.71% for Gary Anderson. That's 13 out of 41 at doubles. Gerwyn Price, 61.76%. That's 21 out of 34 at his doubles tonight. And it is looking like we're about 10 or 15 minutes away from calling Gerwyn Price the world number 1. Gary Anderson here going to have to put the performance of his life in if he wants to have a chance of winning the title. But once again, as always, if you are new to the stream, I just see we've got a new subscriber. God bless whoever you are for leaving a sub. Don't forget to leave a like and subscription. Starting next week is the NFL playoffs. Kieran and Will be covering some of those NFL playoff fixtures live on the channel. I think next week, next Sunday it might be. So don't forget, if you do like your NFL, it's definitely going to be well worth joining us in those streams. And we've got a lovely community on here. It'd be nice for you guys to join for those NFL playoffs indeed. We've got the Wrestling Corner podcast, a lot of wrestling stuff on this channel. The next episode on Tuesday is going to be a little bit later than 11:30, so keep your eyes out as Rona's Simon are back for the podcast on Tuesday. There's also going to be a Royal Rumble watch-along coming up in the next few weeks. And then, of course, if you like your football, we've got some football watch-alongs to come over the next few weeks. The next watch-along, I think, is going to be the Manchester Derby in a few days' time, which is the Carabao Cup semi-final. So well worth joining us for that. If not, we've got the FA Cup coming up next week. Everton versus Rotherham. I think I'm going to be doing a watch-along for it. We're probably going to get battered. I'm probably going to be miserable. But that's sport for you. And right now, Gary Anderson will be feeling a little bit miserable in this game because he's 6-2 down and Gerwyn Price is battering him. He's got 4 sets to at least win if he wants to get back into this match. 5 sets on the bounce he has to win if he wants to win the game overall. We have just got another subscriber as well, whoever you are. God bless your soul. Thank you very much indeed. As we are back into the game and potentially into the final set of the match. Will Gerwyn Price win this game 7-2 or will Gary Anderson maybe have a chance at a comeback, even if it's incredibly doubtful? Gary starting with a 140 here. But Gerwyn Price starting one better with a 180. And Gerwyn Price is looking incredibly strong here to go on and win the first leg already in this game as he gets treble 20. Gets another one. How about a 9 darter chance again? Unfortunately not, as he hits 19 as he gets down to 182 after 6 stars. Which is all good at saying, would you say Man United are title challengers? I'd say no, but what do you think? If the season continues the way it does, Original Gunner, I think, yeah, they could be. And I'm saying that if the season continues the way it does. If teams like Liverpool and City keep dropping points, then, you know, who knows? Maybe it could happen. But if, you know, we get later on into the season and teams start to improve, which I think City are now, they're improving massively, then I'm going to say no. But I think they'll be up there for top 4 again, as they always are usually in the Premier League. But they've had a very good start indeed. Fair play to them. So Gary Anderson at 121. He's going to have a chance to check out here. We're going price at 66. But there's going to be no check out here for Gary Anderson. He needed to hit treble 17 and only got 17, and one of his darts has fell out the board. Which means Anderson 84 here. Going price at 66. Here's treble 14. So 2 darts at double 12 for the first leg of this 9th set, which he gets. And Gerwyn Price is 2 legs away from winning the World Darts Championship. Chris has put United a joint top, remember? I saw you put up on Twitter about that, Chris. I did have a chuckle, I'm not going to lie. So Gary Anderson here is going to have to win the next 3 legs. Nerves of steel he needs right now. Gerwyn Price, it's treble 20. It's another one. Are we on for another 180? The answer is no, we're not. 140. And Gerwyn Price is down to 303 with Gary Anderson at 404. And to me, it kind of feels like a Gary Anderson performance where he gives up at the end and just admits defeat. And tonight, I think Gary Anderson will hold his hands up and say, do you know what? I lost to the better player tonight. You know, Gerwyn's performance is probably one of these better performances he's put in this season. And I do think Gary Anderson will probably say, I deserve to lose tonight. But I'm very glad I made the final in the end, which you've got to think as Gary Anderson hits a 180. So that's another 180 in this game. That's the 19th of the match. And, you know, look, at the end of the day, as I said, I think Gary will look and say, do you know what? I didn't expect to make the final. I'm glad I made it, but Gerwyn was just a much better player. But a chance at a 164 here for Gary, which he's not going to be getting. Original going to say, I think it'll be Liverpool first, City second, United third, and then fourth could be anyone, but I'll say Spurs. I mean, I know, of course, with Arsenal. Are they a few points off the top 6 now, Arsenal, after winning a couple on the bounce? Gary Anderson here at a 64 finish. Gets 16. Gets 8. So 1 down at tops for Gary, which he doesn't get. Which means Gerwyn Price will be coming back here for a 1 or 2 finish to go 1 leg away from becoming the world number 1. Hits 20. Hits 14, which means no dart at that 1 or 2. And a chance for Gary Anderson to make it 1 leg apiece with 3 darts or double 10. First dart a little bit low. Can he get the second dart in? No, he can't. So 1 dart at double 5. And he sums up his performance tonight there, Gary. Hits the 5, which means Gerwyn Price now a chance to go 1 leg away from becoming the world number 1. Hits 12. 2 darts at double 20. To go 1 leg away. And he gets it. Gerwyn Price is about 60 seconds away from becoming the world number 1. And Gary Anderson tonight can only put his hands up and say that he's played an incredible player as he hits a 180. And we're now up to 20 180s in the match. And a chance maybe for a 9 darter for Gary Anderson. 10 apiece, by the way, on 180s. That's 874 180s in the event so far. We need 6 more 180s to break the record of most 180s in a World Championship final. So you were kind of relying here on Gary Anderson getting this game to continue as he hits 2 treble 20s and hits a 140. So no 9 darter there, but a chance for Gary Anderson to get a leg on the board here with Gerwyn Price back at 301. So Gary Anderson at 181 here, can leave himself on a decent finish. Gets 20, gets 19, he gets treble 18, which puts Gary Anderson down to 88. He's going to have at least potentially 6 darts at the 301. With Gerwyn Price down 134, so that's 170. So Gary Anderson here at 88, gets 20, gets treble 20. So 1 dart at double 4, which he doesn't get. But he should come back unless Gerwyn Price checks out with a big fish finish to win the tournament. Surely not. For one of the most incredible big fish finishers, gets the treble 20. And he doesn't get the other one, and that would have been the greatest 180 I think we've seen in quite some time. So Gary Anderson is coming back for double one to get a leg on the board. 2 darts at double two. First dart misses. And this would sum up Gary if he misses. And he does. Which means Gerwyn Price has a chance here to win the World Darts Championship on a checkout at 65. Gets the 25. 2 darts at top to become the world number 1. 1 dart at double 10. And he misses it. Which means Gary Anderson has a chance to come back at double 2 to get a leg on the board. And he capitalises first time and takes Gerwyn Price to another leg. And Gerwyn Price must have thought his name was in headlights there for a second. And Gary Anderson just makes him fight on for another leg and makes it 2-1 on legs. And Gary Anderson here has to win the next 2 on the bounce if he wants any hope of taking this to another set. He's got to hope here that maybe that opportunity there is just put Gerwyn Price off as he hits a 140 to put Gerwyn Price himself down to 302. Gary Anderson at 446 here. Only gets 57. And he's looking like here, Gerwyn Price has a real opportunity to take this last leg of the game. Gets treble 20, 18, and a treble 20. And Gary Anderson here, looking like he's about to give Gerwyn Price the title. Not a great performance at all, and I think it's a resignation of defeat from Gary, which means a 164 checkout, which isn't going to happen. So he will be coming back to check himself out on 116 with Gary Anderson back at 329. And as I said, Gary looks pretty much resigned to defeat here, as Gerwyn Price has 6 darts at 116. Gets treble 19. Needs 19. 1 dart for tops to become the world number 1. And he doesn't get it. Which means Gary Anderson can only leave himself with a good finish. With Gerwyn Price coming back at 3 darts at double 10. What can Gary do to put pressure on? The answer is quite a bit. He can get 137 to leave 92. So Gerwyn Price here, 3 darts at double 10 to become the world number 1. First dart misses, but he's a good marker. Second dart misses. Biggest start of his career here, double 10. And he's missed it again. Which means Gary Anderson has a chance to make it 2 legs apiece. If he could check out 92. Gary Anderson has to do this to put some right pressure. Gets treble 22 darts at double 16. 1 dart at double 8. He needs it. And he doesn't get it. Which means Gerwyn Price is back at double 5 to win 7 sets to 2 against Gary Anderson. First dart is a little bit too high, double 5. Second dart is a little bit too high. Third dart hits the 5 and he's missed it again. He's missed it. Which means Gary Anderson is coming at double 4. And this feels like an impossible task right now, as Gary Anderson has 2 darts at double 4. And he hits the double 4 and we're going to another leg. And the last leg decider. And could this be a turning point in the game? Look at the emotions on Gerwyn Price's face. He knows he's had about 16 gazillion match darts to win the game. He's had about 6 or 7 there, and Gary Anderson takes us to a last leg decider and an opportunity to take us to another set in this game. He desperately needs it, Gary. We want more action. Take us to another set, Gary. Come on. We want another set in this game. Gary has to think in his head that if he makes it 6-3, the frustration for Price will grow. I'm pretty sure we're going to a break as well after this set. And the frustration would massively grow indeed. And well, he's got a chance here. Price only hits 23, so Gary Anderson has to capitalise here. Gets treble 5, treble 20, and 20. So Gary Anderson down to 169, Gerwyn Price all the way back at 357. Ben putting here nerves on doubles for Gerwyn, bottling it as he gets to 180. And he's down to 177, so Gerwyn Price at 169 here. Isn't going to be able to check out, but he can leave himself on a good finish, because he will be coming back in a moment. And he's down to 32. So a chance here for Gary Anderson to check out double 16. As Gerwyn Price gets 120. Can leave himself a good finish here. And he leaves himself at tops. So 3 darts for Gary Anderson. Which he gets! So we're going to another set. Gary Anderson makes it 6-3. And he must be thinking in his head right now, how has he not won this game? As Gary Anderson has to think to himself here, he must continue in the same vein. Because he's got a real chance here to maybe capitalise on the emotions of Gerwyn Price, who will be feeling like he should have gone off stage about 2 or 3 minutes ago as the world champion and the world #1. And now Gary has to think in his head, I can get a few more sets on the board here. Dimsky saying he can't, can he? I think there's a long way to go in this game as Gerwyn Price hits another 180. And for those of you who put your 180s in the chat, it's perfect news for you that this game's continuing on because we now have 22 in the match on 180s. Can he do it, Gary Anderson? Gerwyn Price, I think, will still win this. Gary Anderson has got to win the next 3 sets on the bounce without response from Gerwyn Price. As Price here looks to get a 44 checkout for the first leg of this 10th set. Gets 4, which means he's go for tops. First dart misses, which means he's got 1 at double 10, which he doesn't get. And Gary Anderson here has got a chance at a 167 checkout, which he won't be able to get. And it means Gerwyn Price will come back with 3 darts at double 5, with Gary Anderson at 70. First dart misses at 5, which means he's got 1 dart at double 2. And in fact, he's not even going to get a dart at double 2. And this is summing up the score right now of Gerwyn Price. He was just bottling it right now. Treble 10, double 20. Gary Anderson checks out the 70. I'm not going to say anything. Is Gary Anderson's experience going to come on show here? What is Price doing in this game? He's got 3 legs. Gerwyn Price to win the World Darts Championship. Gary Anderson has got 3 sets just to match the score of Gerwyn Price. But the percentage right now of the doubling percentage for Gerwyn Price has gone all the way down to 47%. It was at 74% earlier. And Gary just has to keep rolling on in the way that he's playing right now because it's a much improved performance here from the Scot. Gerwyn Price averaging 99.73. Gary Anderson just averaging 94.64. Big moments in this game. Dimsky saying Price is a nervous wreck all of a sudden. Chloe putting, come on Gary, more drama, I love it. This is what we want! How about Gary Anderson taking us to 6 sets apiece? That would be fucking lovely. Go to a last set decider. As Gerwyn Price gets 140 to leave himself down at 167. So Gary Anderson with a 150 checkout, which he's not going to get. But he should come back unless Price gets the 167. So 167 finish here for Gerwyn Price, which he's not going to get. And it means that Gary Anderson is coming back for a 94 finish. And I'm just getting the gin ready because I do feel like here we might need a refill if Gary Anderson goes 2 legs up. Gets treble 18. 2 darts at tops, 1 dart at double 10. And Gary doesn't get it. Which therefore means Price with a chance at 72. Gets treble 16. So he's got 2 darts here at double 12 to make it 1 leg apiece. 1 dart at double 6. And he just doesn't seem to be able to hit anything right now, Gerwyn Price. So Gary Anderson coming back here at double 10 for a 2-leg lead. And he gets the double 5. Gary Anderson could be about to make this 6-4. Are we witnessing potentially a chance and an incredible comeback in this game? We'll have to find out, of course. But Gerwyn Price's emotions are certainly getting the better of him right now as Gary Anderson hits a 140. And I've got to feel like, I think Gary's going to make it 6-4 here. I'm hoping he does. As much as the Gerwyn fans would like to see him win, we also like a bit of darting drama. Treble 20. 1 and 20 means that Gary Anderson gets him down to, himself down to 280. Chloe saying, yes, Gary, win the set 3-0, please. Come on, Gary. Come on, lad. But I've got to say, what must be going through Gerwyn Price's head right now? Because it is one of those where I'm just thinking to myself, what's going through his head right now? Next gym required, go on, neck it. I would neck it, But it's a mug right now. Let me get it. There you go. It's a mug right now. It's full all the way to the top. I feel like if I was to neck it, I'd probably vomit everywhere. You don't want to see that on stream. So Gerwyn Price at double 20. He gets it. And that's a leg on the board. And Gary Anderson here has got to get this next leg on the board and make it 6-4. Otherwise the pressure will really be in Gary's hands as he hits a 140 and gets himself down to 3-6-1. Gerwyn Price here hits treble 20, treble 1 and treble 20. Neck the gin lad, go on. Oh, I can't do it. I nearly got all the way through there. Bloody hell. Not much left in that. Oh god, as Gerwyn Price gets to 180. Where's the sound? Get the sound on. And that's 23 180s in the match and you can't see me. There we go. 23 180s in the match. And Gary Anderson necking for Gary. For Gary. Oh, I can't do it. I nearly got all the way through there. For Gary Anderson. God bless his soul. That's for Gary. It wasn't fully next, but I did it in the end as Gary Anderson had a chance to check out 127. He'll be coming back for 33 unless Gerwyn Price checks out 104. Has one dart at tops, which if Gerwyn Price does what he does, he'll hit it, which he doesn't. So Gary Anderson is coming back for 1 double 16. Got 2 darts here at double 16. Come on, Gary, hit it! Oh, he's missed it! Gary! What are you doing? So Gerwyn Price, 3 darts at double 10 and he gets it! And Gerwyn Price is 1 leg away from becoming the world champion. But Gary Anderson is also 1 leg away from making it 6-4. Big moment in this game. What an animal. I hope you mean me. Gary Anderson here is just like Gerwyn Price. Right back into this game as Gerwyn looks to get a 177, which he gets. Imagine a 9-darter to win the game. I'd go fucking mental. I don't care, it's Gerwyn. He's on for a 9-darter. He's just composed himself here. If Gary wins now, that's because you chugged the drink. I hope he does. I wish he did. No 9-darter, unfortunately, for Gerwyn Price. But only 84 there for Price, which puts him to 240. Gary Anderson needs to get himself a good score here, which he doesn't. 99 leaves Gary down at 302. Price at 240. Come on, Gary. Win this 4th set. As much as there's loads of people in here who want Gerwyn to win, I'd like just an extra set on the board. Get some more drama. That's what we'd like to see. Treble 18 for Gary. Another treble 18. How about another one? He gets a treble 20. So Price at 140. Gary Anderson at 134. Price isn't going to check out the 140 here, which means Gary Anderson must check out the 134. And if he checks this out, the drink is getting refilled. I'm going to be paralytic drunk by the end of this. 134 for Gary here. Treble 20. Treble 18. Tops. Oh, he's missed it. Oh, it was the right chance for Gary, which means Gerwyn Price had a chance for 80 to become the world number 1. Treble 20, double 10 to become the world number 1. Gets the treble 20. 2 darts, a double 10 to become the world number 1. First dart misses. And the second dart misses. Come on, Gary, hit the double 20. Please, Gary, make it go to another set. Double 20 here for Gary Anderson to make it 6-4. Come on, lad. First dart misses. Second dart misses, please. Oh, he's missed it! Oh, he's missed it. Which means Gerwyn Price has got a chance at double 5. And he's walking all the way to the trophy. And he's walking all the way back. Is he going to be holding that trophy in a minute? He needs double 5 to win. And he does! Gerwyn Price is the world number one and the winner of the World Darts Championship. 7 sets to 3 in a game where I tell you what, Gerwyn Price made it fucking hard for himself to win that trophy. But in the end, he wins the game. And Gary Anderson, he tried his best in this match to be able to go on and put a real good fight in against Gerwyn Price. But ultimately in the end, the fantastic start that Gerwyn Price had is able to get himself the victory, and he wins 7 sets to 3. And do you know what? Fair play to him, he deserves it. It was a brilliant, brilliant game for him overall. And of course, as you would expect, the nerves building up in this match. And Gary Anderson has even got a big smile on his face, and fair play to him, because in the end, you know that realistically, I think Gary Anderson himself probably thought in this match that he never expected to make a final at the World Darts Championship. But in the end, unfortunately for him, he loses the game, and it's Gerwyn Price who will become the world number one. Of course, Van Gerwen going out of the competition, he'll become the world number one. Gary Anderson comes second at the World Darts Championship, and it's a real shame that the tournament is over, because, you know, ultimately in the end, it's been a fantastic tournament. We've had so many good games to watch, and unfortunately, you know, this final wasn't a classic as we'd like it to be, but in the end there, Gerwyn Price just had to do what he did and was able to finish on that double 10. You can see the emotion on his face. He knows how important this is for him. He's going to become the world number one. Gary Anderson, who comes second, receives 200 grand. Gary Anderson, and do you know what? I'll give credit to Gary Anderson here. He's got a little smile. He's got a little smile on his face, and fair play to him, because I think even Gary Anderson himself knows that realistically, in this tournament, he probably never expected to make the final. And he did very, very good indeed to come in second place. And he's got a big smile on his face. And fair play to him. Because I think if he was to do an interview, he'd probably say himself, do you know what, look, a better opponent beat me. And for the first time, Gerwyn Price is able to hold that World Championship trophy. And he lifts it up. And Gerwyn Price is the world number one and wins the World Darts Championship. It was a fantastic tournament, and there will be so many emotions running through that man's head right now. His family at home who will be watching on, his wife will be in tears, his kids will be absolutely delighted with how he's done in this tournament. And Gerwyn Price becomes the best player in the world in terms of the world ranking. But an absolutely incredible performance there from Gerwyn Price to win 7 sets to 3. I have to say a big thank you to you all throughout the last couple of weeks for turning up to these World Darts Championship streams. I never expected this much support with the amount of, you know, the amount of viewers that turned up, the amount of likes, with the amount of subscribers. I never expected this much support from all of you guys over the last couple of weeks. I just want to say a big thank you to you all. You know, we started off at the beginning of December when the tournament started. In round 1, we did as many as the games as we possibly could, and I want to say a big thank you to you all. Thanks to every single person that's left a like, that's left a sub, that's just even entered the stream for 1 second of their time. You know, even if they've just jumped in and dropped out of the stream, a big thank you to all of you for turning up to this stream, and for turning up no matter what stream you came into over the last couple of weeks at the World Darts Championship. From the incredible game with Michael Van Gerwen, to this final against Gary Anderson and Gerwyn Price. The man with no name's just appeared. How you doing, you legend? Hope you're all good, buddy. It's been a fantastic tournament in the end, and a real pleasure to be able to sit here, you know, for 3, 4, 5 hours at a time, and just sit and watch these games with you guys, and enjoy them and react to every incredible moment that we've had. What I'm probably going to do is I'll do a video for when the Premier League of Darts is announced with the 10 players. I assume it will be announced very soon, which is going to be, of course, a big moment for us all to know who's going to be playing the Premier League of Darts in a few weeks' time. But I can confirm, as I said before, I will be covering the Premier League of Darts in a few weeks' time, if it starts in February. If not, we'll be streaming it a few weeks later on, of course, with the COVID pandemic. But Austin saying thank you. No, thanks all of you for joining the stream. It's greatly appreciated indeed. And Reese has put, did they release the Premier League soon or not? I'm pretty sure, I believe, as Chris said, they release it after this game. So if it doesn't take too long, then we will cover it live on stream. But I assume it might take a few more minutes or so for him to come out. So I'll stay on for a little bit longer for now. And if it comes up, we can have a talk about it, of course, and see who's in it. Ben's put, we thank you, my friend. Great content. Thank you so much. You know, look, at the end of the day, I'm not the best when it comes to darts. I'm quite new to it myself. I've been watching it for the last 2 or 3 years. But for the fact that you guys have come in the stream, you've kept your support, we've had a few super chats, we've had you guys leave your likes and your subscriptions. I just can't thank you guys enough for all the support that you've left on the Sports Corner, because as a support, I never expected these watch-alongs to do as good as they did. Chloe's after the chat, that means Cross is still world number 4, right? He is indeed. He stays as world number 4. No, I was going to shut my window, but I'm not, because I'm a little bit cold here. But Rob Cross stays as the world number 4, and Gary Anderson's just doing an interview right now. And I've got to say, Gary Anderson has got a massive smile on his face, and fair play to him, because it will have been tough for him at the end of the day to lose a game like this in the final. But ultimately, it's Gerwyn Price that comes out. 7-3 is the winner. I'm absolutely battered. I've still got more of my pink gin left, but I guess I'm going to have to leave that for now. But let's talk about that game overall, because it was a brilliant match between Gerwyn Price and Gary Anderson. Gary Anderson, 100.08 in terms of his match average. Gary Anderson averaging 94.25. In terms of the checkouts, Gerwyn Price with 45.61% average. That's 26 out of his 57 opportunities at doubles. As for Gary Anderson, it was a night tonight where we just realistically struggled at his doubles. 18 out of 67 darts at doubles. It wasn't a good performance tonight from Gary, but he certainly made it a little bit nervous for Gerwyn as the game continued on. But in the end, he hit the winning dart that he needed, and he becomes the world number 1. Barry Hearn, Cameron, should announce the Premier League of Darts players in the tournament. Let's just take a little moment to talk about that, because, of course, they've changed the format of the the Premier League of Darts. We will now have 10 players once again in the league format. There will not be any contenders, so we're going back to the normal format that we had a few years ago. Of course, the contenders coming in pretty shit, to be honest with you. So we'll have that to talk about in a little moment. Time. I've got hiccups. 2 seconds. That's what happens when you drink 3/4 of the bloody gin. But Rob Cross stays as the world number 4. Gerwyn Price becomes the world number 1. MVG goes into second place. Peter Wright in third. And fair play to him. As Chris puts, first round at next Worlds, Price versus Welch. I'll give him some dream. I'm dreaming, of course. Chris, go for the PDC. Go for the Q School. Do it. Go for Q School. Give it a go. You've got a good average. Give it a go, man. Give it a go. Why not? You get a good average when you play. You might as well. But the instant minute the Premier League of Darts is announced, we should have it soon. If it doesn't get announced within the next 5 to 10 minutes, then I will do a separate video on it, and we'll talk about each contender who's going to be in that 10-man league in a separate video for you guys. But as I said before, I will be covering the Premier League of Darts live, which is in February. It's every night on a Thursday night, so I'll be covering every single night possible. If fans are allowed in the stadium, I'm looking to go to maybe 2 or 3 of the Premier League ones. There might be a couple of weeks here and there where we don't cover it, but I'm looking to cover every single night on the channel as much as I possibly can. But I need to check now, because we had a total of 23 180s in the match. I'm going to go all the way back at the end of the video. In fact, I'm looking back now and seeing if anybody said 23. So looking back at the 180s in the chat, there were 23 180s in this game, and I cut it off at the point where Curran was the last man to predict. So, to look at your guys' predictions in the chat once again, Dale M predicted 18 180s. Arska predicted 36. Alex predicted 17. Arska predicted then 36 again. James 24, which is very, very close indeed, but not the 23. So very lucky there for James. He was one off. Bilbo Baggins predicted 29. Duan predicted 21, very close, well done there. Anna predicted 17, Polenia predicted 14, Snoodle 32, Gary 15, Andrew 16, Chris 33, Jason 21, Seth 18, Patrick 29, Gabriel 28, Cameron 34, Andrew didn't predict one, Ken predicted 15, and then Curran predicted 22 180s. So, unfortunately, it means none of you predicted the 23 tonight, which therefore means I keep a tenner in my back pocket, which I'm actually very surprised about because I thought more people would have predicted in the end. But ultimately, there's no winners tonight, unfortunately. None of you predicted the 180s. But what I will do, to be fair, which I think when the Premier League of Darts comes back in a few weeks' time, I will probably do some more 180 predictions where you guys can win some cash. As a big thank you to all of you for supporting the channel. So, if you do like darts, as I said, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. I'll be covering the Premier League. I'll be covering the Premier League of Darts in a few weeks' time, and no doubt at the end of next year, of this year even, I will be performing. I won't be performing at the darts. I will be covering the World Darts Championship once again because we've seen some incredible games. We saw the MVG Joe Cullen game, one of the greatest matches at the Ali Pally. We've seen Dirk van Dijvenbode go on an incredible run. We saw Stephen Bunting produce an unexpected run. James Wade hit a 9-darter. We saw 7 170s. And of course, we've seen Gerwyn Price hit an incredible performance and win the World Darts Championship, which is, of course, absolutely incredible for him. But Chloe in the chat saying, I know I joined from the quarterfinals onwards, but thank you. I subbed after the quarterfinal matches. Hopefully the FA Cup results will go right way next week. Big thank you to a lot of you guys that have come on the last couple of weeks. The Man We Know Name, big thank you to you. Chloe, big thank you to you. Cameron as well. Austin, big thank you to you as well, buddy. Ben as well, God bless you. Rees, good friend of mine, God bless you as well. Dimsky, big thank you to you too. Just a big thank you to you all. Peter as well, or it was Harry, I think yesterday, who's been in for a few weeks. Liam Gallagher, who always leaves the most stupid of comments I've ever seen, but I fucking love him. Ken as well, thank you for all of you for joining the stream. But I'm just waiting to see if we have an announcement on the Premier League of Darts. It doesn't look like it. In fact, Premier League of Darts news is coming next. So I'm going to take a quick toilet break. The Premier League of Darts, the 10 players will be announced in a moment. I'm going to stay live. I need a piss. I'm going to be back in about a minute or two. But stick around on the channel because the Premier League of Darts, the 10 players will be announced. I'll be back in 2 minutes. And then we'll talk about those 10 players. Back in 2. But Gerwyn Price there. 7-3 win. Incredible tournament. Back in a moment. So welcome back to the stream. As I said a moment ago, we are about to hear some Premier League of Darts news in just a moment's time. Of course, the next kind of Reasonably big tournament that's coming up. We're going to hear the news, I assume, about the 10 players participating. I can't fucking speak. Participating in the tournament in a few minutes' time. Cameron saying thanks to you for providing us with the content. You know, thank you to you as well, Cameron. God bless your soul. Just thanks to all of you for turning up to these streams. Because look, at the end of the day, I might be absolutely drunk right now, but it's a big thank you to all of you guys, because without you guys being here, without you guys, contributing conversation and bringing the talk, these 4-hour streams could be incredibly long to talk about and to kind of commentate over. But you guys, you bring so many talking points and so many good moments to these streams that, for me, these have been the best watch-alongs that I've done on the channel over the last year and a half. So, we're just waiting for the news now on the Premier League of Darts, the 10 players. Chloe's just put in the chat, does anyone think the World Darts Championship has changed who will be in the Premier League or not? I don't think it will have, realistically. I don't think it should have changed much, but the commentators are just taking a brief second to see, to talk about that game a moment ago there, but I'm going to refill my drink very quickly while we're waiting for the Premier League of Darts news. But do it, Chris. I'll check Q Skull out, how much it is. Do it, I would. The thing is, you average around the 80s mark. If you can get that onto the stage, then honestly, you could bring yourself potentially into a very good tournament indeed. And who knows, maybe we might be talking about you next year with the World Darts Championship, Chris. You never know. But we will know in a moment about the Premier League of Darts news. If I can find the news before it gets announced on Sky, then I will give you the heads up on who is in the tournament. But we should know in a minute with the 10 players in this tournament. So let's take a moment to speak about the Premier League of Darts, because as you know, we are going to have a change of format again for the World Darts Championship. There's going to be 10 contenders, not 10 contenders, there's going to be 10 people performing in the World Darts Championship. We're not going to have contenders this year, so the contenders format will be out of the way. We won't be having contenders anymore, so we're back to a 10-man Premier League format, which of course we'll be covering in February time on the channel. Austin's put, is that tonic water or soda water? It's pink gin, Gordon's pink gin, and Schweppes lemonade, slimline, not fat. We don't do full fat around here, we do slimline. But we're going back to a 10-man format. There's going to be no contenders. And as Chris has just said, someone is getting interviewed, so we might see an announcement in a moment of who's going to be in the competition, of course. We'll have a talk about that in a brief moment's time. And then I will end the stream, and that's it. It's going to be the end of the darts for 2020. Cameron's put, what's your favourite moment of 2021 at the World Darts Championship? I will come back to that in a little moment, actually. But we've got the Premier League format is about to get announced. So I'm just going to hear it a second. So here we go. We're getting the announcement now. Give me 2 seconds here. So the Premier League of Darts is just getting announced. I don't think he's going in February. So the Premier League of Darts is going to be delayed, from what I've just heard. So Premier League of Darts is going to be delayed a little bit. It won't be starting at the beginning of February to try and get fans back in the stadium. So we won't be seeing it at the start of February, which is a real shame. So hopefully they're looking to try and get fans back in the stadium again. So it's going to be a 10-player format. There's going to be no contenders as we expected before. We heard that, of course, which was announced exclusively. So the 10 players in: Van Gerwen, Peter Wright, Gerwyn Price, Rob Cross, Gary Anderson, Glenn Durrant, Aspinall, Vandenberg, D'Souza, and one more player to be confirmed. For the love of fuck, don't be fucking Raymond van Barneveld. So Van Gerwen, Peter Wright, Gerwyn Price, Rob Cross, Gary Anderson, Glenn Durrant, Aspinall, Vandenberg, and Jose D'Souza are the 10 players that are going to be participating at the 2021 Premier League One more to be confirmed. I don't know who's that player to be confirmed though in the end, which is interesting. So we've got 10 new players. Well, 10 new players. We've got 9 players confirmed. We haven't got the other player confirmed yet. So just to put on your screen, for those of you wondering with the Premier League of Darts announcement, let me just get the picture up on the screen so you guys can actually see. Rob Cross is in again. Fuck me. I mean, he is top 4, isn't he? But fucking hell, might as well relegate him already. That's not the Premier League of Darts. Let me find it. Where is it? All files. So this is your 10-man Premier League players in the darts. So your 10 players, we've got Jose de Souza, Rob Cross, Glenn Durrant, Peter Wright, Gerwyn Price, Van Gerwen, Gary Anderson, David Aspinall, and Dimitri van den Berg. My questions for you guys is, what are your thoughts on that 10-man lineup? Because it's quite interesting that they haven't actually announced who the other person is going to be yet. I don't think they tend to usually do that, do they? Where there's one person left in it. But in terms of who's going to be in it, who would you like to see as that extra final man? Do put in the chat below. I mean, Cameron's saying he'd like to see Dirk van Dijvenbode. Ren would like to see it being Stephen Bunting. Chris hoping it's not Van Barneveld. Woodsy saying it Michael Smith, maybe. So that is your 9-man announcement. There's one more player to still be announced. Of course, I would assume that will be announced in the next few weeks, but they just have brought the news, of course, that the Premier League of Darts is going to be delayed for a couple of weeks, it looks like, depending on the COVID situation. Just to make sure, of course, that you know, realistically, fans are able to go to the games, which is understandable, and I think it's a very, very fair point indeed. But I've got to say, I question the decision of putting Rob Cross in there. I mean, I think that's a very, very stupid decision, in my opinion, to put Rob Cross in there. I don't like that decision, to be honest with you, because he got relegated, yet he's still in the competition. It makes no sense. So once again, Jose de Souza, Rob Cross, Glenn Durrant, Peter Wright, Gerwyn Price, your new world number 1, Van Gerwen, Gary Anderson, David Aspinall, and Dimitri van den Berg. I like having Dimitri van den Berg in there. I think Gary Anderson does deserve a place after that performance in the tournament. But Rob Cross for me is the one player that kind of stands out as the man that should have really been there, in my opinion. Woodsy saying I think Chizzy deserves a go. I agree with you. I think Chizzy should be in there. I'm surprised Chizzy isn't. And then Chloe's saying the main one I'm disappointed in is that due to the top 4, Cross stays in. As if Smith's out, then Cross would be out. Maybe Chizzy, Bunting, or Smith. Well, that's the thing. I'd like to see Bunting in there, but I think if anything, I'd have probably put Chizzy in there instead. In my opinion, I think Chizzy should be in there over Bunting, but I wouldn't put Smith in there. It's Chizzy or Bunting for me in terms of who should be in the World Darts Championship. In terms of who should be in the Premier League, I think it's very harsh to leave either of those two guys out. In fact, I would have much preferred if it was Chizzy and Bunting in there, and Rob Cross wasn't the man. So the Premier League of Darts is going to be delayed. There's going to be one more player to officially announce. As I said, imagine at this rate if it's Raymond van Barneveld who gets in there somehow. It'd be absolutely bloody mad, wouldn't it, in the end, if Raymond got in there. But you could even maybe see someone like Joe Cullen get in there. You'll have to have a look. But I think that is where I'm going to end the stream. That's where we've seen. We now know the 9 players of the Premier League of Darts, and that is the next tournament that I will be covering live. Hopefully, we will be able to see that tournament soon, because it's not going to be at the original start of February as it was initially planned. They're hoping that they can get fans back into the stadium for it. But once again, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody over the last couple of weeks for joining these streams. I never expected these streams to do as good as they have. But you guys, the support that you've brought, the likes that you've left, the super chats that you've left,
the messages in the chat of support and the questions and the comments that you guys have left have made these streams the most enjoyable ones that I've done on the channel so far. So big thank you to you all. If you're new to the stream, as always, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. We've got more sporting content to come on the channel. In a couple of days' time, we're going to have a Carabao Cup semi-final stream for Manchester City against Manchester United. We're also going to have a couple of the FA Cup watch-alongs at the weekend. Everton taking on my local club, Rotherham United. Come on, Millers! And then we might also have an Oldham stream against Bournemouth in the FA Cup. But as for now, we've also got some NFL playoffs, which are coming next week. I believe next Sunday. Will Pete and Kieran L will be covering those NFL playoffs live. And then also, we've got some wrestling watch-alongs to come too. Roman's going to bring some wrestling watch-alongs to the channel. And there's also the Wrestling Corner, which is available every Tuesday at 11:30. Although it's going to be a little bit later this week with Rowan and Simon. But once again, a big thank you to you all. We've seen some incredible matches, from the 9-darter from James Wade to the incredible match against Van Gerwen. None of those players won in the end, but it was Gerwyn Price who went on to win. He had to battle his way throughout every single match to get himself to win the title, but he is now the world #1. But what will 2021 bring for us? Have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are, and we hope to see you again soon for another Darts Watch Along for the Premier League of Darts. See you later. Good night.